Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what this is. You know what today is. Welcome in, everybody. Sports Take. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn. Barrett will be joining us in a little bit. JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, Gunner. Before we get to the high hellos and all that good stuff, okay?
Yeah.
All right. I know you thought there wasn't going to be math, but I'm just going to give you numbers. You don't have to do any work here, okay?
Wait, let me get my pen. Okay,
You don't have to start using your fingers and your toes and all that stuff to add things up. I want to give you numbers because I'm excited, okay? First off, 73 hours.
73 hours.
3 hours until the Eagles and the Lions. That's the equivalent of 3 days.
Okay.
8 hours and 20 minutes from right now.
Uh-huh.
That is the Bills and the Rams tonight.
Yep.
6 hours and 45 minutes.
6:45.
That is the Phillies and the Marlins tonight.
Phil's Marlins, okay.
But perhaps the most important number that we will use today, the most important metric that we will use today is 100. Do you know what 100 is?
Wait. Now, see, I know. See, you like to throw me for a loop. Let me think about this for a second.
We did not discuss this for anybody who's wondering.
We did not discuss this.
We did not.
100.
Yes.
The 100th show.
Yes, it is our 100th show.
I'm learning you. I'm learning you.
We're always on the same wavelength here, man.
We might be in different states and we might be distant brothers, but there's a telekinetic fusion.
We share bandwidth, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
it's like band of brothers. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is. I like it. Yes.
When you said the word 100, I'm thinking, okay, there's a trick to this. Let me think about this for a second.
Yes.
And I said, if I know Rob, bam, had to do something with the show.
April 18th, 2022, we started. That was 100 shows ago. We have somehow fooled them into leaving us on 100 shows. I don't know how.
It's 100 shows?
This is our 100th today, my man.
All right, how's my internet right now? How's my internet? Is it looking good?
Yeah,
there's no internet in the house. It's mass hysteria. Okay. Back to the old trusty box right now, so I'm hoping it's okay.
All good, man. Yeah, so it fitting that today is the 100th show because it is a big day. We do finally have real NFL football. Just a deep exhale that we are here, fellas. Okay. And then, of course, after we get through tonight, and I'm not rushing tonight because this is going to be a great game. But after that, man, then we just dig in on Sunday and boom, here we go. It is so exciting. I know everybody in the chat room is pumped. Everybody listening, everybody streaming. And I know you guys are excited, man.
See, here's what I like about tonight. I don't even care who wins. I'm not a fan of Buffalo. I'm not a fan of the Rams. But we're watching a game where there are no more starters playing for just one series, a half, a quarter. You're not going to see a bunch of guys in the second half who are going to be looking for work elsewhere.
Right.
From start to finish, we're watching
I may be looking for work elsewhere.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, by the way. But we're watching.
And rightfully so, Derek says. Let's not just gloss over that little line.
Right. Here I am battling, trying to find internet and everything else to be on with my boys, and what he takes a shot at me.
Well, you know what the bottom line is? Get you before you get me. That's the code. That's the code of the East.
That's it.
Because I know it's coming. So
I think that was in the Bible. I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna get mine.
Yeah.
It's not an eye for an eye. It's a gun for a bee.
I'm telling you know what I'm saying. An eye for an eye, a shot for a shot. Yeah, but it's going to be meaningful football for 60 minutes of football, 3 hours of football.
It counts.
This one counts. And two evenly matched teams. I wouldn't be as hyped if it was like Buffalo playing Houston or somebody like this. This is two potential teams that we could be seeing in February on the final, most meaningful game of a season. And so I'm jacked for this.
Yeah, I mean, usually the NFL and the pundits will overhype a game. And oh my God, can't wait till Jacksonville and the Bears meet. This is throw out the record books. And you're like, what? What did I miss? But this is real. Like it's not hyperbole, Derek, for you to say that this could be a Super Bowl matchup 100%. I mean, this is the NFL's coming out like swinging for the fences here.
Exactly.
With this
Great game, great matchup. You got potential MVP candidate, and you have the defensive player of the year past couple years. This will be this is like an iconic type of get the season started. Bam, in your face. This is what the NFL properties has turned out for the first game. This is what we're giving you. We'll give you hot fire as we go.
Fire!
On. Hot fire.
We are rolling, man, and we appreciate everybody's love here. Everybody, Fitness Rebel, Chris, Linda, our guy James, David, Coach Marcus, General Anthony, everybody, Fitness Rebel, of course, Jim G. Thank you guys. We appreciate you and all the congrats, and we're thrilled. It's been a great endeavor so far, and man, we are just going to keep growing this thing. And you see what the station's doing, and you see what the show is doing. And we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you for the support, for sure. But yeah, man, this is Christmas morning. This is one of those days where you get up, you don't need an alarm clock. You're pumped. You can't wait. You're counting down the hours. Yeah, all the things you're not supposed to do. Enjoy every moment that you're in and all that stuff, right? But this is one of those days where you're like fighting yourself, like, how soon, man? What time is it now? Let's go.
Well, the game comes on at what time?
8 o'clock, baby.
8 o'clock.
8:20. Yeah.
8 o'clock. So that means I got to get my wings ready. I think I'm gonna go ahead and suck it up and get some onion rings.
Yeah,
some onion rings.
Yeah, do it up today. I mean,
some White Castle.
Yeah, this is a cheat day.
Actually, I was actually up in Central, almost like in between Central and North Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And how about I got me an 8-pack? I mean, a 10-pack.
No, you did.
No, you did.
A 10-pack.
A frozen burgers?
He's set, man.
No.
Fresh?
Not frozen. Yes, fresh.
Did you eat them all?
Why you gotta get all personal, bro?
Did you eat them all in one sitting?
I'm gonna set the over under at 4.5.
4-0. I've seen this man eat. See, he won't answer me.
No. Honestly, no, I didn't eat them all, but I made six. I did make 6, which was 3 double cheeseburgers.
Okay, I mean,
that's 3 double cheeseburgers. So I took. You only got the 10-pack, a 10 cheese pack of the singles. So I just took one piece of bread off and mashed the 2 together. I mean, I took 2 pieces of bread off and mashed together. So it's a double burger, but I took 2 of the buns out.
That's really like 3. That's really like 3, I think.
Yeah. So it's 3 actually. It's 3 actually. Yeah.
Why not just take castor oil, Malox? If you want to clean out your system,
don't do that to the people. It's lunchtime, man.
This is ironclad, baby. Ironclad.
That's how you get that 6-pack.
There's no boundaries on this show. We discuss everything. Everything's on the table. Why not just go ahead and just Pepto-Bismol something? Just get it all.
I'm with Fitness Rebel. It is a cheat day. Today and Sunday are both full-blown cheat days. Well, you do what you got to do. It's wings, it's burgers, it's whatever you're into, whatever floats your boat. You got to let yourself live a little.
But this is the question. Rob, are you working today after this?
Yes.
See what? Why you want to be able to enjoy the game?
No. I actually, what I have to do will be done right at kickoff. So I'm good.
Nice.
Good.
But then you have to drive home, right?
No. What I'm doing, I can do from the compound.
Oh,
there
nice.
You go. There you go.
I'm good today, man. Listen. As much as I could. This is a day that's marked off on the calendar in advance. So I have this, and this is also, Dad, can we? No, we can't.
Right.
If you need anything done, get it done now.
Dad, can we order Chinese? No, you cannot order Chinese.
No. Listen, Derek, this is actually a day where I'm like, order whatever you want. I'll be down in the man cave, and you guys go bananas.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, watch whatever you want. I'm down here.
I'm in the office right now. I'm working.
I'm in the office. Exactly right. This is research that I'm doing.
That doesn't work in my house. I slip away. Where are you?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Where am I? Yeah. I'm upstairs.
I'm turning off my phone.
Derek, I've had these kids for more than 30 minutes. I need help.
Why are you upstairs? Yeah. I'm trying to watch the game. Why don't you come down and watch it here
with all of us?
No. Yeah, that never works out.
And all of a sudden he turns around. Do you not see Cruz sitting over there?
Yeah.
Or it's how was your day? What did you do today? What happened in school today? And I'm like,
yes. And the funny thing is, you know what? The funny thing is, that's exactly what happens. Or it's 3 dogs running in front of me barking.
Right.
And Lord help me if the doorbell rings, because the dogs go nuts for about 5 minutes.
Or someone decides. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Trish is gonna do? She's gonna make you. She's gonna bake you some of those. She makes these peanut butter cookies.
Oh my goodness!
And then she puts a Hershey Kiss in the middle of them. What does she make? She'll probably make you those.
Forget it.
No. I don't want her to make me anything today. You know why?
Why is that?
Because after the game, I get to clean up the. My wife is a fabulous cook, but when she's done, and she'll admit this, when she's done, it's looked like the North versus the South in the Civil War in the kitchen. They got pot. I'm cleaning dishes. I'm loading the dishwasher. Yeah. At a moment when I just want to relax, because after I'm done watching a sporting event, whether it's baseball, football, whatever, 11, 12 o'clock is when I start, like I'll clean up the kitchen, mop the floors, load the dishwasher, wash this.
You doing this at midnight?
Oh, yeah. I'm the last man standing in my house.
He sent me a text last night at 1:30. This guy's unbelievable. I don't know how he does it. It's unbelievable.
And guess what? I got to bed at 3:30 this morning. I was up by 8:15.
Well, you know what? You guys don't really like when I watch the game purposefully because I watch and see what the defense is doing to offense. I'm trying to shut it down. But you guys watch it and you guys log everything. I couldn't do that because I missed the game. Yeah. I missed the game.
It was so hard with Chip Kelly. I swear to God, man. I try to chart I do every play of the Eagles games. Okay. Every single play.
I do too. Yep.
And
I can't do that.
Oh my God, with Chip Kelly, with the hurry up, man, it was tough. Yeah. You were missing stuff. I don't care who you are, you were missing stuff. Like you were just missing.
I used to be in the truck. I used to be in the truck for ESPN.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the truck, we're trying to. You can't even go to replays or anything. It's back to back.
Yeah.
And Lord knows
you can't go to play. They call it Elvis. You can't go to Elvis.
Yeah, Elvis. Elvis. So you can't go. Do it. Anybody got any reaction? No reaction. Roll blue. No, silver. We got.
Yep.
It's mass hysteria.
It's chaos.
Those Chip Kelly games when we were in there. It was. It was 100 miles and going.
I was trying to keep up with Chip Kelly's play cards on the sideline, all the pictures and stuff. That would mess up my log. What did you just put up? What was that? Trying to figure out his plays,
It's unbelievable.
But John Dickerson's a D-gun, walks around in his boxers and undershirt when he wants people to leave him alone. Hey, John, I've tried it. Doesn't work. I've tried that, dude.
Thanks for that.
All my kids goes, "Ugh."
Yeah.
And my wife will go, "Really? Are you being a good example for your kids?" My kids are grown. I'm not trying to be an example for them.
I said, Mole, if they do that, yes, I will. Yes, I will. I will be the Jackson 5. I will have the afro. I will sing all 5 of them. I'll even try to play the guitar like I'm Tito.
Okay.
If they go the first quarter of the season like that, yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you heard it here first. So today we have James Palmer for the NFL Network. James is going to be joining us at 1.
Sir.
How about this schedule that James has? So he's got the Seahawks and the Broncos this week. Russell Wilson going against his old team, right? So he's got that one.
Yep.
Thursday, he's got the Chargers and the Chiefs, which is a killer. He's got that Thursday. Then he's here in Philadelphia on Monday night for the Eagles and the Vikings.
He said he got some great games.
We're going to hit everything with James. So he's going to be joining us at 1. Couple of odds and ends here. So Howie being Howie, man, restructured Lane Johnson again and Jake Elliott to create some cap space. He converted, regular salary into signing bone, whatever. These guys are still getting their money, but it makes it more team friendly. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time they've redone Lane Johnson.
Exactly.
Lane's still getting it, but he's getting it a different way.
You know what? Every time this happens, I'm thinking, Howie's up to another move. What's coming next?
Yeah.
Anytime he's freeing up cap space, something's coming.
Yes. And I'm trying to figure out what and who and how. They say he likes to go into the season with like $10 million on the cap, that he can maneuver with in the cap. So doing that, you're right. I mean, Lane getting a little, and as a player, you want that because you get more money up front.
That's right.
Sign-up bonus. That sign-up bonus,
right?
People don't understand. You get that sign-up bonus 10 days after you agree upon you sign it. You get the sign-up bonus no less. It has to be there for more than 10 days.
Yep. Hey, B. Brooks,
that's nice. Wait, I'm waiting for ours.
Yeah.
Rob, you waiting for ours?
It's gonna be a long wait.
I'm not gonna say anything. Let's move on.
I got you.
Brooke, what's the biggest signing bonus you ever got?
Me, biggest $650.
$650, and out of $650, how much of it was cash after agent fees, entertainment tax? How much did you clear out of $650?
First of all, when I got the check,
right,
I'm thinking I got $750. I looked at it. I actually looked on the back side to see if they, wrote some other numbers on the back of it. I couldn't believe it. It was like 302 or something like that, man.
What?
Yeah, it was like 302.
That's probably about right.
Yeah, that's about right.
50%. Yeah, take about 40. right around there off the top.
Good morning, Mom. Mom, send some prayers out for my mom. The whole household has COVID right now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No. So all right. Feel better, Mama Brooks.
Yeah, Mama Brooks.
The whole crew.
And how many people in the house?
My brother, his wife, and my niece.
Philip?
Yeah, Philip got COVID.
Okay.
He's a Browns fan. I mean, stuff just happens to Browns fans. They just don't have any luck at all, bro.
Oh man.
Praying for the Brooks family.
Yeah, feel better for sure. So let me hit you with a couple other things I thought were interesting. So Miles Sanders said that he says that the hamstring issue was just a tweak, and they were just being overly conservative. All right, we'll see. He's good to go on Sunday. We'll see.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, Jeff Stoutland said that a guy we don't talk a lot about. This is interesting.
We need to.
He had a great rookie year. He said Landon Dickerson is the most improved offensive lineman on the team, and said that the difference between Landon Dickerson this time last year, entering his rookie year, to now is light years. He said that this guy is playing at a ridiculous level. Like when Stoutland's saying that, I'm like, okay, I got to take notice here with this.
Well, wait, let's put it in his proper perspective. Okay, when he says the most improved offensive lineman, okay, Lane Johnson is accomplished. Kelsey is accomplished. Seumalo,
Mailata's still getting better. I mean,
it's still getting better.
That's pretty.
But Mailata also got $40+ million, which tells me they are comfortable with where he's at.
Right. So Mailata got $64 million.
Was it 64? I thought it was 40 something.
No, 64. And that was actually a bargain basement price compared to what they're going to make this year, what tackles are going to make this year. It's like 5 years, 64 or 68. It's around 64 or 68 million.
What?
Yeah, he went to he cleaned them out. Yep.
Okay.
Cleaned them out.
Yeah, man.
Kind of like White Castle. Nothing. Okay, keep going.
I had to go make a run for the company, man. My company. And once I get up there, man, it's terrible because I get up early and I left early because I knew that I had to make that stop. Mm-hmm. So I left an extra hour early.
You gave yourself White Castle time.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Rob, there you go.
Yes.
There you go. And then I come home and I walk in the door. And I got like 30 minutes to the show. Everybody's screaming. I'm like, what's going on? No internet in the house.
Oh, man.
That means there's no TV, no anything.
I
gotta come in and diagnose it like I got a degree in it.
Oh, my goodness.
It just says Texas. You see all it. That's how it's mass hysteria, all these. That's how my brain feels with this tech stuff. I unplug the router, plug it back in.
So you know what you need to do? You need to get more people living in your house that knows tech stuff. Like me, when I have problems,
try to get everybody out.
I call Alex, Tina, or Jordan. They go running like the Keystone Cops. They figure it out, bro. I don't have to worry about that.
Hold on. Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, you
back
good?
up?
Okay.
Yeah, back on.
All right.
Hey, who's this dude? Who's this dude, Michael Rosenfeld? There he goes with the contrarian hate, D-Gun. What's up with this dude? Seriously?
Where? I don't see him.
Normally, I don't acknowledge this stuff.
Yeah, I say word of advice: don't pay attention to trolls and don't give them any.
Man, that's what you do, D-Gun. You hate. Oh yes, I hate. Okay, whatever. Move on. All right, I'm done with that one. Let's go. Well,
the other thing I thought was interesting. He said that they wanted to put Juergens, use him at guard too, and teach him the guard position.
Yeah.
But because Kelsey was hurt, they couldn't, and they had to use him primarily center. During the season, they're going to train him at guard too. Just
absolutely. In fact, I think he's the first off the bench to play guard.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of confidence because everybody. I mean, they love him, but I don't have a lot of confidence in what's his name? Daggone it, Sua Opeta. I'm not an Opeta fan. I like him. He's a big physical guy, but I don't think he has it as far as movement, lateral movement. You got to be able to do that stuff. I don't like his feet at all. But he's a mauler though. But I don't like his feet. So I think up next, when you look at the backups, you got Josh Seals, who's virtually a tackle.
Who was a surprise to make the team.
Yes, I'm definitely surprised. Then you have Jack Driscoll, who's a tackle / guard. Very, he's very good at going in and being that stopgap guy. But I really believe you put Cam in there at guard or center, you wouldn't have a problem. You wouldn't have a problem at all. I mean, he got to learn the guard position, but it's not much different between the guard in the center position. In fact, it's easier being a guard because you got two people around you, on both sides of you.
Right.
And you don't have to snap. You just instantly coming off the ball and hitting somebody.
Right.
So it's actually a little easier for him. So he'll pick that up easy. But I think he's the first guy. If one of the guards goes down, he'll be the first guy they'll put in at guard.
Well, I thought, the other thing I think you're right. That's interesting, Barrett. I think one of the other things that Stoutland said that I kind of caught my ear a little bit was they could potentially move Lane over to the left side if something were to happen to Mailata now because you're down, because you don't have Dillard to back him up.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I think Lane could handle himself. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Do you want to weaken two spots? Or are you better off keeping Lane at the right?
Remember we talked about this.
Lane where he is, man.
Yeah, we talked about this.
I'm with you. Yeah.
We talked about this back when they had Jason Peters. In fact, we actually talked about it on Breakfast on Broad. Mm-hmm. And they actually they went through that type of situation. And Peters got hurt. And I'm trying to think of who they put in. They moved what's his name over to the guy that went to the Colts. Oh my goodness. The tackle he's actually starting left tackle now for the Colts.
He played
guard.
Dennis Kelly?
No, he played guard for us.
Mathis.
No, he played guard. Let me look it up.
Oh.
My apologies. Let me see.
I'm trying to remember who it was that long ago.
I'm still trying to get over. Barrett said he's not a big fan of Opeta. I've never heard Barrett say he's not a fan of an Eagles offensive line.
Dennis Kelly? Are you talking Dennis Kelly?
Matt Pryor.
Oh,
Pryor.
Pryor.
So easily you guys forget too. I forgot him too. But yeah, Matt Pryor.
Good work. Showtime got it too. Good work.
Okay, yeah. He went over to left tackle and played left tackle. And they kept Lane it right because Lane was like, he said the same thing you just said. They don't want to weaken two positions by moving him over there. So they said, I'll just stay where I am. And the quarterback knows that, he kind of fade. Like quarterbacks, they're interesting because wherever they feel comfortable, without even thinking about it, they fade to the strong side.
Mm-hmm.
Without even thinking about it.
We see it with Hurts a lot.
Well, he's gonna fade. He's going to fade to the strong side. So even unconsciously, he'll be unconsciously doing it, fading towards the strong side, just because he feels more comfortable over there.
Right.
So they do it naturally. Quarterbacks do it naturally. You can watch every quarterback and where they fade, that's usually the stronger of the offensive line. It fades to that side.
All right. But let me hit you guys, and we're going to dive heavy into the Birds next segment and Eagles expectations based off of what Kelsey said yesterday. But just as far as tonight goes, Barrett, I don't know if you were on. I think you were kind of jumping around a little. Derek and I were talking about this, but I was really surprised by this. The Bills are 2.5-point favorites over the Super Bowl champs at home.
I'm shocked.
That looks like a rate. That's an alert for me. Like, what's up?
Very telling. Very telling. Very telling. Yeah, I was into this conversation, and I didn't quite understand it either. Simply because I understand they're the Super Bowl champion. But you have the MVP on Buffalo. They were weakened because they took a defensive end from the Rams.
Von Miller. Yep.
Their DBs, their starting DB is not good. Tre'Davious White is out for this game, so they might have a rookie starting. Well, I doubt it. They're going to go with second-year guy from Florida, Zadir. These names, bro. I am not.
I got you. We don't need to get into the minutia. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, but and there's a kid that started. That was starting for, was it a local team? Villanova. They started for Villanova. It's actually right now competing for the starting position. Mm-hmm. Right now is Kyer Elam, him and Christian Benford from Villanova.
Okay.
Is now competing for that starting position. They love this kid. Bender, they loved him. He was a 6th rounder from out of Villanova. And he
making the team's an accomplishment in that.
Oh, no question. But he balled. Even when I did Villanova. What was it, Delaware? Del State or Delaware?
Delaware. That's a huge rivalry. Yeah.
Huge rivalry. And this kid balled out for him. So him and Christian, Christian and Kyer are trying to see who's going to start, man. So at this point, I think Elam's going to start, but Benford's not far behind him. They like this kid a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, I actually think the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. That said, I like the Rams tonight at home in this game. I think it's going to be really close and a great game.
Both teams are going in healthy.
Yeah, I'm back the Rams.
Rams are at home. They're going to be jacked because this is where they begin their defense. And it's no slight against Buffalo because Buffalo's even though Buffalo has, to me, the toughest schedule in the AFC, I still pick them to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. I just don't understand how Buffalo's favored on the road going east to west in the Rams' backyard on national TV to kick off the season. I don't know.
Especially got an unstoppable combination between Stafford and Cup. I mean, it's going to be hard to try something, and then
Aaron Donald. Oh my goodness!
Right, and they got Wags they got Wags in the middle of that defense now. Bobby Wagner in the middle of that defense. Leonard Floyd is still there. I don't know how you do that either, man. I mean, they still have one of the best secondaries, man. I like what they have in the secondary.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you do it either, man. So you're right. You're right.
Yeah, it's look, either way, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. It's what it's why you love this stuff and why you get pumped up for this stuff. It is.
But the key matchup,
right? And to come out with this kind of game, man.
Yep.
It's what it's all about, man.
But see, Rob, I don't take the same approach you would take. Like you're letting the volcanic eruption build now for kickoff. I have so many distractions that I'm of the frame of mind. Oh, it's 8:00. Showtime. See, between the time we get off this show and kickoff, I've got like 10 different things I got to do. Right. So that will consume my time from just pacing or waiting for them to kick off this game. The game will be upon me before I know it. And then I will try, and I emphasize the word try, I will try to settle in with minuscule distractions, which may not be possible in my house.
You're not going to talk about my family like that, man.
Ooh, hold up, man. Hold up.
Well,
you mean I'm not going to talk about the family? What?
The other thing I'm going to do, for me at least, Philly started 6:40, so I can, as I'm doing what I'm doing, I'll have the Phillies. I'll get a good hour and a half jump on the Phils before that game starts. So it's going to be good to go, man. It's going to be a fun night.
So what's going on with that, man? The Phillies, that's a conversation in itself, man. It was a great win.
Yeah, it was a good win, and they really good defense. Falter continues to do his thing. They're. Others are picking up the big, like Real Muto's been great, but most of the stars, Harper's lost right now.
How about Sosa though?
I think he's pressing. I think Harper's pressing, and I think he's in a funk. He actually came up. It was weird. He swung and missed last night and kind of grabbed the side. You hope that's not an oblique, man. You hope not, but we'll see. But yeah, Sosa's been awesome. I'll give you a great Sosa stat later when we talk about that. All right. So Jason Kelce, some really pointed words, and the question is, who was he pointing those words at? Was he pointing them at his teammates? Was he pointing it at maybe the media, the fans, whatever the case may be?
Yes.
All the above. About really expectations, and I'll read some of the quotes. I want you guys to react off of it because Kelce was not in no kind of playing mood yesterday. So there might be a tone being set as we speak. So we'll discuss that when we get back and how realistic the expectations are for this Eagles team. So you don't want to go anywhere. Show number 100. By the way, in honor of our 100th show, what do we think, guys? 300 likes today? Sound about right?
At least 300.
Throw us a bone. A bone.
If you can get 350, it was over 400 to get me to sing. You guys in the chat, you know what? Get everybody fired up. We should at least get 300 for our 100th show because you people made this possible. So therefore, call your friends, call your neighbors, call your enemies, and tell them to get on the show and hit the like button so we can surpass 300 today.
Let's go 3. Let's hit 3 today. All right, we will do that. Birds, when we get back, James Palmer from the NFL Network coming up at 1:00. We got you wall-to-wall, Eagles, NFL, you name it. Don't go anywhere. We are Sports Take. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis on this Friday Eve, as we like to say. All right, so let's talk a little bit about finances, which can be a scary proposition, right? And I've been right there with you for a long time. I finally found the right person, and that's Jim Murray from Principal Financial Group. I can tell you from personal experience that he's someone that I trust with my investments, with my finances, whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. If you have a small business and you need help setting up your employee benefits, that's another resource that Jim can help you with. I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollover with Jim, and I couldn't be any happier, and you will be too. Trust me. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751, or you can email him at Murray, MURRAY, .jim@principal.com. That's Murray.jim@principal.com.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Welcome to Pondley Hockey, the largest workers' compensation law firm in Pennsylvania. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. Even better, Pondley Hockey doesn't charge a dime until you win. If you've been injured at work, give Pondley Hockey a call.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
Welcome back into Sports Day. I am Rob Ellis along with Derek Gunn and Barrett Brooks. We are JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Each and every day we provide 3 hours of power from noon Eastern to 3, but we give you programming all day long, as you just saw right there. All right, so little news, guys, before we dig into the bird stuff. The Rams have reached contract extensions with Sean McVay, their head coach, and Les Snead, their general manager. The extensions, no numbers yet given out. Expected to make them among the top paid coaches and GMs in the NFL. No surprise there. You win a Super Bowl. We've been hearing, that this was coming down the road for a while now. What I will give these guys props to, I mean, I'm more talking Snead than McVay. He's flown against conventional wisdom of just, hey, you better have your draft picks. If you don't have all your draft picks, you can't win in the NFL. He's basically said, screw it. I'm making trades. I'm signing free agents. I'm going for it now, and if we have to pay the price later, we pay the price later. I give props for going outside the box for Les Snead.
Well, it seems like that everybody's doing it now.
He really started the trend, though, Barry.
Yeah.
It's the New England Patriots model.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, a team got smart and took the New England Patriots model and used it to perfection. When the Rams started this process 3 years ago, people were like, what the heck are they doing? Why are you giving up all your draft picks for these players? And Jalen Ramsey and all this stuff, what are you guys doing? But It worked. It worked. And they're in position to repeat. They're still as strong a team in the NFC as anybody just to get there. I would stack them up against anybody in the AFC. It worked. And I've said this so many times. I am shocked more teams haven't followed this pattern. I really am.
I am too.
For a short time, Howie did the same thing, but I don't think it was because he was worried about the consequences and repercussions that goes with it. I think he was just doing it because he just couldn't draft at first. Now he can draft. Now he's going back to the conventional way and going with draft picks.
Well, he is, but okay. He brought in James Bradbury. He brought in Hassan Reddick. He brought in Kazir White. He went out and got the safety from the Saints. So with Howie now it's a better balance of what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, it's no denying. I mean, look at the drafts the last 2 years. We just talked about Landon Dickerson. Now Stoutland said he was the most improved offensive lineman. You got that. You got Devontae Smith. You got Milton Williams. You have Kenneth Gainwell. Yep. That year, and look, we'll see with Jordan Davis and Cam Jurgens and Kobe Dean. But we'll see how this draft goes. But so far the last couple of years look pretty good with the way Howie's gone with this. All right, you want a Les Snead fun fact?
Sure.
I used to work with his wife at ESPN. We were production assistants.
No way.
Oh, get out of here.
Who also used to work for the NFL Network. She was one of their original on-air personalities.
Do you still know her?
I haven't talked to her in 20.
I was going to say call her and tell her to get Les on. Let's get Les on.
Another fun fact. One of our other production assistants was Manny Diaz, the college football coach.
No kidding.
We were all production assistants together. Yeah, and then
are you kidding me?
No, and then Manny went into the the coaching world, and the rest is history. So there you go. Yeah,
here you are, Rob.
Here I am with you.
Stuck with us. Yeah.
Yes, 6 degrees of Rob Ellis.
Yes. 6 degrees is just going downhill, huh?
Exactly. All right. So the big takeaway yesterday was Jason Kelce and how. Him essentially railing against comfort. He doesn't want comfort. He doesn't want guys to get comfortable. This is all about, expectations. He says expectations are just that. They're bleeping nothing. We got to go out there and play. The moment you're comfortable in this league, somebody's coming for you. We got Mr. T in Rocky 3. He's going to be hunting for us every week, and we haven't won bleeping nothing. We're not even the champion, so we better work our bleep off. I think when expectations are high, you tend to let things go a little bit. When the expectation is low, we got to fix everything right bleep now. Otherwise, we get fired. Otherwise, people are going to be out on the streets. He says, he says, but to be honest, I don't like comfort. I think comfort is bleeping terrible place to be in this league. I know everybody expects us to be a Super Bowl champions in Philadelphia right now, but I think that can definitely happen, but it's definitely not going to happen being comfortable. I can guarantee you that. He goes on, but I won't read all of it. But clearly a message being sent here, guys. Who's he sending it to? His teammates? The city? Who's he sending this to?
Yes, yes, and
yes.
Check every box?
Every box. I mean, this city right now is in a feeding frenzy about the prospects of this team. And maybe a few of his teammates started feeling themselves, looking around, looking at the talent, looking at the prospects, looking at their schedule, and are starting to feel themselves a little bit. So Jason Kelce basically brought everybody back to earth for a moment. Hold up, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And along the way, you've got to sidestep a lot of landmines to get to where we want to go and where you want us to go. This is not going to be an easy journey by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not surprised Kelce said it. Kelce put everything in its proper perspective. You know what? It looks good now, but we've got to play 100 miles an hour every week to be that team that we think we can be.
In the most versatile way to put this, the meaning is right there. This is my coach, Russ Grimm, used to say, guys, we haven't pissed a drop yet. And that's exactly what it is. They have done nothing yet to garner, them feeling comfortable about anything. The best place to be is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to make sure that, it's always going to be a fight. When you think you've arrived, that's when you're going to start going downhill. Because when you think you know everything, that's when you know absolutely nothing.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good that he said that, and he's especially making an example to the younger guys. But people in that locker room, this is what Jalen Hurts calls rat poison. You know what I'm saying? Let everybody
100%.
come out there, patting you on the back, giving you all this data boys. I used to hate that right there. All them data boys make you weak.
Yeah.
So I don't need any data boys.
Well, let me ask you.
Go ahead and get going.
Kelsey's lived it. Fletcher Cox has lived it. Lane Johnson. We know the guys. Brandon Graham. There's only a select few that have won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Do you think some of this is he can kind of sense that his fellow teammates are sniffing themselves a touch because of some of the hype? And he's being proactive, like, you guys have no idea what it takes to get through this thing. This
absolutely,
absolutely.
And rightfully so. Who better to send that message than one of the most loved, hardworking players who've ever come through this city, who knew what that grind is like, who only has a handful of teammates left from 2017 that knew what it was like to go through the trials and tribulations of not just playing the game, but bandaging up this team when future Hall of Famers, Pro Bowlers fell by the wayside along the way. They won a Super Bowl. Let's look at this. They won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback,
backup left tackle,
but a backup quarterback who has done nothing since he left Philadelphia. And I love Nick Foles. Nick Foles is one of my all-time favorite people. But it is what it is. Well, since he's left here, what has he done?
Absolutely.
He's been a journeyman.
Yeah.
But for that one moment in time, it was the perfect storm for this team. You think about backup left tackle. They didn't have a future Pro Bowl special team player. Your quarterback was an MVP candidate, the leading MVP candidate. He wasn't there for the final show. And they won the Super Bowl. How many other teams can say that?
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know any teams overcome starting left tackle, starting quarterback, starting middle linebacker, best special teams player, starting cornerback. I'm not sure that's ever happened in the history of the NFL. We've seen a couple backups step in, and Hostetler. Who's the other one? I'm missing one, but whatever. We've seen it, but not to that extent that the Eagles had to. So I just think this is brilliant, man. Honest to God, I think it is so, because Sirianni isn't the type to do that. It's just not. You know what I mean? It's not really his nature, his personality.
Was Williams a backup for Washington?
Doug Williams. That's a good one.
That's
it, Barrett. That's a great one. So I just think that's, to me, it's a captain type of move.
Yes.
Is what it is.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that, because you know who the biggest backup was that won a Super Bowl? Tom Brady.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Drew Bledsoe got hurt.
Oh, Kurt Warner stepping in for Trent Green.
Warner. Yeah.
Yep.
Drew Bledsoe got hurt, but people are like, Tom who? 6th round pick from Michigan? Who?
Yeah.
This skinny dude here? Are you serious?
Opie Taylor.
Yeah.
And it was the beginning of a dynasty.
That's true. That's true. So that I just thought when he said that, I'm like, he realized. And the other thing about Kelsey is he's not one of these guys who says, I don't listen to sports talk radio. I don't read what's being written. I'm not on social. He'll tell you, he knows what's going on. He's in the public too. He's not just stay in his house kind of guy. He's, you guys know he's out and about. You could run into him at a bar, restaurant, or, a park somewhere. And so he knows what's being said and what people are, putting out there. So this is his way of getting in front of it. I think it's great. I love that they have players like this that are willing to do this kind of stuff.
So see, that message had to come from a player. It couldn't come from a second-year head coach.
Yeah.
It had to come from a player who was there, who lived it. As good of a motivator as Sirianni can be, that message had to come from a highly decorated player who's walked it and talked it, and gave the speech of a lifetime to cap off an incredible, unimaginable season for that team.
Yep.
No question about it.
All right, so let's look at, based off of this with expectations. So they were 9-8 last year, got to the playoffs, lost. Doesn't that game feel like it was a lot worse than 31-15? Like, I know that Tampa took their foot off the pedal, but I felt like a 44-3 game to me. But anyway,
exactly.
Yes.
Perfect.
So, we're going from that to a lot of people saying, all right, win the division, minimum NFC championship game. Like, how realistic is this jump that we're talking about here for this team?
It's they retooled in key positions. Maybe really, if you look on the opposite side of the ball, it's only one big playmaker that they brought in is really going to make a substantial difference in the entirety of what you think of as far as the scheme of the offense. Pascal, he's a nice piece. He's definitely a nice piece. But when you look at the overall dynamics of being an impact player, it has to go with A.J. Brown. Other than that, this offense virtually looks the same. It virtually looks the same. You got your minus Zach Ertz. And then after that, what else do you have? You have guys like Jalen Reagor, who was the number 2 guy, is gone now. Now your number 1 is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Pascal's come in. He's going to be a good slot receiver. Put him there, and he's going to do the dirty work, the hard work, the work that nobody else wants to do. He'll be a guy go up there and dig a linebacker out on run plays, or get the safety on run plays. He's going to be consistent as far as control in the middle of the field. Then you have Dallas Goedert. He's now the man. Now he's a starter. Now he's the guy that will be in for probably 90 to 95% of the snaps now. Those are only big things that have changed in this entire offense. Mm-hmm. Defensively is where I think the biggest impact comes with what Howie Roseman did. Howie Roseman was able to change this defense from being the worst in all categories to right now we're kind of expecting and we're foreseeing that this team can be a lot better. Like I said yesterday, it was great for me to hear him say, all right, even if I call a bad call, my guys can bail me out. They're good enough to be aggressive when I'm not even being aggressive. That's what I heard more so than it. He didn't say it like that,
right? But
that's what I heard. Mm-hmm. Even when I'm not aggressive, my guy's going to be aggressive. So it really doesn't matter what he calls out there. I have a lot of faith that the guys that are out there, the guys that are in between the lines, will take over at some point and become productive.
So how deep do you think this goes, Barry? I mean, we'll get into like full blown predictions, tomorrow. But do you sense that this team's poised to make a pretty good run here in the playoffs too?
I do. I think they are poised to. I mean, and it all starts. They got to play first, but they have just the right amount of veterans that people can listen to really make a difference. Right. How about you, Gunner?
Again, on paper, they look like they're poised to be there at the end with the likes of the Rams, Tampa, Green Bay. But how quickly can all of this new talent fuse and become one cohesive unit? Can they? Can the quarterback live up to our expectations or the team's expectations? Can they stay healthy? And I talk about this all the time. I can't emphasize it enough because I've seen good teams destroyed, i.e. Baltimore last year. Teams destroyed by being decimated by injuries. I mean, Baltimore was like a plague, man, like the Black Plague in Baltimore. You walked into the facility, you had ACL tear.
Bubonic plague, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and it starts with the health.
And then entire positions.
To cohesiveness.
Yep.
And then the quarterback, and so if all of those things come together, I fully expect them to be there at the end battling, possibly beyond the second round of the playoffs. But there's a long way between now and January to get the answers that we're seeking.
Yeah, look, I think that they will. I think they, barring injuries, I think they will at least win a playoff game. I think they will be better than they were. I think some of it, I got to see what happens around them conference wise to have a better handle on how far they can go in the conference. We'll get into that. But you got it.
Sorry, but here's a question that I'm stuck on right here. Now, GI Zoe Sports Radio says no one wants to answer my question. Rob Barrett D. Gunn.
What's the question?
Would Jordan Davis be considered another first round bust by Howie if he was just a part-time run stuffer?
No. Not this year.
No.
You still have Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave on this team.
Got a lot of money.
Yeah, if he's just your starter on inside, it's a different story for me.
No.
You know what? I'm gonna take. I see what he's trying to say.
Right.
He's a first rounder, and if he's just gonna be a run stuffer, You would say that would be a bust. Yes.
No.
But in defense of that, I say he's going to have to play more than just first and second down.
Not this year.
No, not this year. No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. My whole point is that if those other guys I just mentioned are gone and that's still all he is and he's kind of a part-time player, yes. Then you can start
that's 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah, that's not this year. It's definitely not this year. That wasn't a pick that was made just for – none of them are, obviously. But, I mean, this was a pick that was made to, I think, start to grow him, get him in shape, get him used to playing the more snaps, and then let him bloom in year 2 and year 3.
He is not yet. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'll go as far as to say this. Let's say he was the man. He had to play every down this year.
Yeah.
If he didn't live up to expectation in his first year, didn't make plays, didn't plug the gaps consistently the way we expected him to because of his size and agility, I'm still not going to label him a bust after 1 year. That means there's more growth that has to be done.
Right.
More was expected of him because he only played 30-something% of the snaps at Georgia. So I'm not going to expect him to make the transition to the most difficult level of this game that you can possibly play. There are a lot of first-round players that have to blossom, before they live up to that, i.e. Brandon Graham. Look how long it took him to live up to that.
Yes, exactly.
All right? So, no, I'm not going to put him – even if he was counted on to be the man the first year, I'm not putting that bust cloud over him after 1 year. Now, year 2, year 3, if we're not seeing that growth, then we start talking about, how he made a mistake.
I agree. It would just look. It would be like equivalent of drafting a first-year quarterback, and oh my God, the guy's not. He's not Peyton Manning the first year. It takes some time sometimes. So listen, I get it, and I know it's a concern. His conditioning. He didn't play a ton at Georgia. I understand, the trepidation going in, but I can't. I wouldn't be able to label that guy after 1 year. He's not going to get a ton of snaps because some of the different fronts they're going to use and the quality people who are still here at the Eagles. That's a good thing that the Eagles have that situation.
They brought him in to learn. They honestly brought him in, play first down, sit back and learn how to be a pass rusher.
Yeah, 100%.
That was their intention.
100%. So the areas that the Eagles need to get better at, and we dove into some of the numbers yesterday, but sacks, they only had 29. Which was the second fewest in the NFL. They only had 16 takeaways, which is an awful number for 17 games. Terrible. Mm-hmm. So those two things have to be first and foremost with the defense. With the offense, if you're looking at Jalen, it's really completion percentage, number of touchdowns, and number of big plays are the three areas you look at because it was a lot of plotting sort of long drives for the offense last year. Which can be a good thing if you're trying to keep the other team's quarterback off the field or whatever. But you want to be able to do some quick strike, which is what Barry, they label it 40+ yards. Anything 40 plus is a quick strike play. So they're the areas that really have to get better, be relatively better, but not taking that huge leap.
We're looking for this team now with the expectations of them being good now. Really, really, really far, man. I mean, we have so many high expectations that it's going to be hard for us not to say Super Bowl or bust. You know what I'm saying? And don't let them get off on a good foot. Then we're really going to have even higher expectations on them. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's just the nature of how we made them better than we thought they were going to be. And that's it.
I mean, even the most optimistic fan, if we said to them when the season ended, to now, you would have added the caliber of guys that you added. I think Eagles fans would be like, all right, please. Who did they really get? No, they really got Hassan Reddick and Kazir White and James Bradbury and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and A.J. Brown. I think you would have fallen over if you were an Eagles fan saying hallelujah. So, that's without really gutting your team. What was really sacrificed there? I know you gave up a draft pick to get A.J. Brown, but other than that, Bradbury was kind of cast off. I don't think he gave anything up really for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It was only money for Hassan Reddick and Kazir White. The relative return that you gave up to what you got back is crazy.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. Howie exceeded everybody's expectations this offseason. You know, we felt that this was a team that was going to grow, a team that potentially had the opportunity to be better than they were a season ago based on their overall schedule. But no, Howie didn't stand pat. He put this team in a position to compete with the heavyweights right now. And you got to give him so much credit for not being one to just continue this. Well, we're just going to develop our young talent, and hopefully in 2 to 3 years it will gel. And you know, and we'll have this team in 2 to 3 years. I always said, I'm not waiting 2 or 3 years. I've got that itch. I want to win now. I want these fans of Philadelphia to be proud of the product we put on the field now. I want people to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles now. And he did a tremendous job. And it didn't hurt this team's future. He didn't have to give up a future first-round draft pick. You got 2 next year to reload again.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. You have insurance, is what it is.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
you have heard.
I can remember going in the off season, and I remember they signed Hassan Reddick, and that was the only sign that we had going up until the draft. And I can remember saying, you know, what are we doing? We haven't done anything in free agency. All, you know, for the 2 or 3 weeks free agency first opened up, they did really nothing besides Hassan Reddick. And we had done nothing but Pascal all the way up until the draft. Now we're talking May.
Yeah, right.
Nothing until May, and then all of a sudden, one trade becomes this team opening up into being one of the better teams in the NFC.
Yeah, it did.
One trade started.
AJ Brown was like the impetus, man. Everything just kind of followed suit after that. Jason has a question for you guys because Barrett and Derek could answer this better than me. Good afternoon, Sports Take. I'm leaving Minnesota tonight to drive to Detroit for the game. Any suggestions on place I should check out, football related or not? Wink, wink.
Oh, you know, it's always
good place to eat or drink.
Yeah,
you guys have any suggestions?
Yeah, you go down to the casino that's down there, but they have these they have this restaurant. What was it called? Oh my goodness, it was a jazzy type of place right down there on the waterfront. I'm trying to think because
Barrett? Is it okay? So it's not on the
Blue Note. It's called.
It's not in the
Note.
Casino. Okay.
No, it's down by the casino.
Okay.
That's not in the casino, but yeah, man, it's then I mean, there's just anywhere
Greek
you
Town.
go down
Williams
there.
says hit Greek Town.
Greek Town. That's where everything is in Greek Town.
Greek Town.
That's where the casino is and everything.
When we went to Detroit, we always stayed at the Renaissance Hotel downtown. Incredible hotel.
Yep.
It's like that thing's like an airport. It's so huge. There's a barbecue place about 2 miles away. I cannot think of the name of it, but one of the better barbecue places I've eaten at. If you're downtown near the Renaissance Hotel, ask somebody who knows the city, where's this barbecue place I keep hearing about? Okay. It's a great atmosphere, laid back, and the food was incredible. Had a great time there. Cannot think of the name of that.
All right, well, we'll just save that thought. Let's hit it real quick. We come back, Xander. I'm not going to do the read here. We'll hit it. We're going to have James Palmer join us from the NFL Network when we return. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Be right back.
Philadelphia fans were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The faces you know, the team you trust. The Delaware Valley's leading news program, Action News.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
At Pond Lehocky, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pond Lehocky a call.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn on this Thursday. Barrett had to step off for a moment. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Love talking to our next guest. Thrilled that he was able to give us a couple minutes today. You can follow him on Twitter at James Palmer TV. Covers the NFL for the NFL Network. Gunner, you don't think James has gone big time? Look at this. Let me just give you the next 3 games that he's covering, okay? How about Russell Wilson taking on his old team, number 1, as if that wasn't enough. Chargers, Chiefs Thursday, and then he comes back to the homeland for the Eagles and the Vikings on Monday night. James, what's up, my man? How you doing?
What's up, guys? That's 3 games in the first 2 weeks. Could be more excited. I'm also here in a bomb shelter of some sort here at the Broncos team facility, getting ready to hear from Russell Wilson a little bit, do a little TV behind me. This is our little NFL Network setup shooting behind me. So sorry if it looks a little bit weird, but yeah, we're back in facilities full time, guys, back in locker rooms and back doing tons and tons of games, which I'm excited about.
That's what it's all about, man. Hey, Gunner, you're muted. Go ahead. There you go.
You know, it's funny, James, in all the years I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you without a shirt and tie. I don't think I've seen you in a T-shirt, open collar shirt. It's always a shirt and tie.
Listen, Gunner, I take it a step further from like every mic is a hot mic. It's like every opportunity to jump on television is, every moment of every day is potentially a camera could be on you. So you gotta be suited and booted.
I love it. I love it. James, so I want to get to the Eagles with you. And obviously I know you keep a close eye on them, but man, it's got to be crazy, the hype in your city in Denver for this matchup with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. So what's your sense of kind of where things are? Is there trepidation a little bit because it's his old team? What's your sense of this game?
Oh, there's no trepidation. I mean, they think they're getting a Lombardi trophy this year. It is wild here in Denver. But I mean, it's been interesting. I wrote a big piece on NFL.com about it when the new ownership came in. I mean, you now have in the Walton Penner ownership group that comes in with Rob Walton and his, daughter and his son-in-law, Greg Penner, who's running the group, and Condoleezza Rice and Melody Hobson and Lewis Hamilton, the F1 driver. Like it's a wild group that now has the deepest pockets of any ownership group in the NFL. And then you have a general manager that's really in his second season, a new innovative head coach, a star quarterback. Like it's a brand new organization for one of the historic organizations in the NFL. I mean, the Patriots are the only team that have been to more Super Bowls than the Broncos in the history of this league. So, I mean, there's a lot of excitement around this team, specifically with Russell Wilson. Now, the article that came out on ESPN yesterday, which I know Brady well, and I thought he did a really good job writing that piece about their relationship with Russ and the Seahawks and Russ and Pete. People here in Denver, apparently, from listening to the radio, think it's like a hit piece on Russ. I thought it was very fair that everybody was, I don't want to say to blame, but like relationships go a certain way when everybody is strong feelings about their philosophy on how a team should operate. And so I do think that the Broncos have, talking to plenty of people in the building, given Russ everything that he has wanted, from his own office, from seats on the plane, for his people, for his quarterback coach to be out at practice, for all of these different things. They're catering to all of them. And their belief is, if you want a guy to play at a Hall of Fame level, give him everything he thinks he needs to play at that level. And so it appears their philosophy is a little different than, the way it was in Seattle. And talking to Nathaniel Hackett, there's not an offensive system he can't run from where he's been and growing up in this league and being a ball boy for Joe Montana back in the day when his dad was coaching. I mean, he knows everything about this game, and he's going to set it all up for us to succeed. But they just haven't played anybody. So it's going to be interesting because nobody starting for this team has played a snap in the preseason. So it'll be interesting in that environment for us to go out and play.
Wait a minute. Did you say that Russell has his own office?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Gunner.
It sounds like your demands, Derek. The stuff that you do with JAKIB. It sounds like
I'm lucky if I have my own closet. He has his own office.
Mm-hmm. He's got his own office. It is not a normal situation. I mean, the amount of people that are around him. Now, I look at it from two ways, and some people could say, is that a distraction? I think with this organization, it's not. They're just too young of a team, too hungry of a team that haven't won. So I think they're looking for any sort of leadership as possible. I don't think, and you saw this in the article too, nobody in Seattle ever questioned his work ethic, his leadership, his desire, the way he dedicates himself to be successful. And if all that is needed for that, and I've sat down with Russ a couple of times during this training camp and preseason, and the guy is wired one way. And you guys know this. Peyton Manning drove guys crazy. Like Tom Brady drives guys crazy. If you want to be great and you want to get the other 52 guys in the locker room to be great with you, a lot of times you can be difficult to be around.
Right.
But if you look at it, it's usually the other guy's problem because the other guy's going to the Hall of Fame. Who's bothering everybody? So, I mean, come on now. If you're a teammate, Gunner, and you're like, I'm getting notes in my locker from Peyton Manning on how I should be better. That's my teammate. That's not my coach.
Right.
But at the same time, that's the way these guys are wired, and that's why they've been so successful. So I think that's just the way Russ is wired, and he's won a lot. I just think it's going to be interesting to see how this offense operates because they have a lot of different things they can do with the personnel around them. But one really interesting aspect of this game, I talked to Russ about it, and he's like, I'm going to play with no emotion. You can't have emotion in this game. And I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like emotion there. He goes, you can have passion, but I can't play with emotion on Monday night, which I thought was interesting.
And James, the definitive thing that really catches a young player's eye is when an elder statesman of the game does this and shows them the bling. This is what 100%. It's all about. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get a young
guy on
player's
this team that has one.
There you go.
That's it. They're kicking. That's it.
Well, James, it's an interesting juxtaposition because, of course, the expectation is high in Denver, but they're also in a killer division where they're just going to cannibalize each other, right? So you could see one pundit, you have the Broncos making this deep run, another one saying they might not even make the playoffs considering who they're going against. So what's your sense of trying to balance that? Because if they're in the NFC, they might be a totally different discussion here than where they are.
100%. And not just with them, with all four of these teams in this division. I think there's going to be two of them that are going to be sitting at home watching playoff games in the NFC going, I could smoke these teams. I mean, we could smoke somebody here that's in the playoffs because of, and they're going to be sitting at home. I think it's really tough. And we're going to see early. I mean, the Chargers start the season against the Raiders and then against the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are on a short week. And I mean, that could be all of a sudden UCLA right at the top, like right away, if they win both those games and get a jump out on the rest of the division. I mean, I still don't sleep on Mahomes and Andy Reid together. No. I mean, it's been weird lately, hasn't it? Like around the league. I mean, I get the love for Josh Allen. I've spent some time with the Bills this offseason. I get the MVP love. I get all of it. It's like, guys, this dude's been the best quarterback in football since he became a starter. And he's apparently getting overlooked right now, which I don't really understand. And I think he's kind of fueling and gathering some of that stuff to make a statement against the Cardinals and his old college coach in week 1.
Yeah, great read. I agree. I think it's a Tyreek Hill thing, and it's strange to me that you're putting that many eggs in that basket because of how skilled that guy is. And you have Andy Reid and everything else that goes along with it. That's for sure. All right, let's talk some birds here, James, because similar to Denver, there's really high expectation. I mean, Jason Kelsey isn't thrilled with expectations. He went nuts yesterday saying, let's put a damper on this thing real quick. Just what's your vibe? Because you do keep a close eye, but you're also, far enough away from it of how good they actually are.
I did both those joint practices against Cleveland, and I was there for both of those days. And a couple things jumped out at me in those days. There was very, very few reps between, only on the second day because Myles Garrett missed the first day of Myles Garrett going against this offensive line and going against give me our right tackle here.
Lane Johnson.
No, I'm sorry, left tackle, largest human.
Mailata.
Yeah. And so it's funny, like Mailata and Myles Garrett go only like 2 reps against each other. And the first one was like a bull rush, and Mailata held his own in a sense, but still I'd say Garrett won a little bit. And then Garrett tried to get around the outside of him, probably thinking at that size he's not keeping up with me. And Jordan just kind of pushed him all the way around, and Jordan won the rep. Then on the other side, you have Clowney going against Lane Johnson, and you're like, they only do 1 rep together, and they're both like, yeah, we're good. But Lane won that rep. And I think this offensive line is just so good that obviously everything's going to fall on Jalen to be successful. I saw a really calm quarterback in the team period, specifically in the red zone. I mean, I think he has grown a lot of confidence in 2 specific players, in my opinion, watching those periods, which is obviously A.J. Brown and the relationship they have, but Dallas Goedert as well. Like Dallas was unguardable in those two joint practices. I mean, he was doing really whatever he wanted to do. There was one play that stuck out really, really well to me. They ran an inside screen where Jalen was going to throw the football kind of on the inside of Lane as he pushed Clowney down this way. But Clowney kind of is so long, he, kind of takes 1 step, and so long with 1 step, he's back on the inside. He puts his arms up, and Jalen kind of scoots it right underneath Clowney's arms. And in stride, Goddard just catches the nose of the football and just keeps going downfield, and nobody's near him. Cam Jurgens blows everybody up down the middle of the field, and he walks into the end zone for like an 18-yard touchdown. And I'm like, this dude, the way he moves and the way I saw him, go against safeties in the end zone, Jalen should have a lot of confidence with who he's throwing the football to, and he's protected at the same time. So my point is, really, we all know this. It falls on Jalen, but he is so, to me, level and in command. I know we talked about it this week, but I had a chance to talk to him, a little bit after practice, and he was like, man, people want me to ride waves, and I just don't do it. Like, I don't really, and he really told me, like, I don't listen to anything else outside the building. And, guys say that. I think with him, I actually kind of believe it.
Yep, I agree.
With him, it's real.
100%.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah.
Did you get a true gaze at what you were looking at in that session with the Browns in terms of what this Eagles defense might look like?
Well, Gunnar, I will say this. I'm not real high on the Browns skill position players. I mean, it's really Amari Cooper and D. That's what they have at receiver. And so I definitely think they cause plenty of problems up front. Like, I had a chance to talk to Sirianni for a little bit, and we were chatting about the front, and that's what everybody wants to know, this defensive line and what they can do. And we were kind of chatting. It's like in the preseason game before the Browns game, Jordan Davis didn't have a stat, but he blew up the game when he was in there. And so I think there's things like that this defense does up front that just makes things easier on a secondary where there's like maybe the only question mark on the team. And then you get, CJ Gardner-Johnson coming in, and you're like, well, okay, now where's our question in terms of roster, in terms of who's on paper? I think everybody's now really curious about, all right, Jonathan Gannon, now there's no excuse for what you have in terms of personnel. Let's see what you go out there and do. And that's why I think I think that's kind of the focal point of what people are curious about seeing. And I think in week 1 against the Lions, like, I had a long conversation on Twitter Spaces. I'm new to the Twitter Spaces world, but these like live conversations you can have. I did one for the NFL with Amon-Ra St. Brown earlier this week. And we were talking about like DeAndre Swift, him, like TJ, like they got some players. I think it's a pretty decent test, actually. He said Jared Goff's had a tremendous camp, and I think we heard Coach say that a little bit in Hard Knocks. I think it's actually a pretty good test, the way they can run the ball and throw the ball a little bit for to see what we think about this Eagles defense.
What in your estimation, James? What is realistic in terms of the ceiling this year for this team? I mean, they made it to the playoffs last year, 9-8, but you can make a case they improved themselves on paper more than any team in the NFL. So how far can you take this in what we've already talked about as a lesser conference in the AFC?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should win the division. I think if they don't win the division, that's a problem. I mean, I think that I would say, yeah, they should clearly win the division, and I would say win a playoff game. And if both those things happen, I think what happened was you answered your question at quarterback. And that's really the biggest thing that the Eagles need to figure out. You're right. I think they improved themselves better than any other team through the moves that they made in free agency, the draft, and trades. Now if you do what everybody expects you to do, it's funny, we're making this conversation, starting it out with Russell Wilson. I think there's a little bit of a comparison there with Jalen at the start of Russ's career. I mean, you have a lot of really great pieces around Russell Wilson in the early portions in Seattle, and he was young and learning things. I'm not saying Jalen is Russell Wilson or a potential Hall of Famer like Russ is, but I think it's set up for that type of team success if the quarterback goes out and runs the system the way the coaching staff wants them to run the system, which is, we know Pete's very run heavy, but I think this team has enough easy throws in this offense for Jalen to make. And I think the biggest thing that I've liked, back to your question kind of, Gunner, from those 2 days and from what I've talked to people in camp, is they're letting him play his style of football and grow at the same time. They're fine with him going through 2 reads, and if he takes off or makes room for himself to make a play, like, why not? If that's what makes him better as a player. I know everybody's like, and I know it's driving the coaching staff insane with every question from our boys in the media going, well, is Jalen getting through his reads faster? Did he go through all his progressions on that one before he took off? And that's where I kind of get that from. If they're cool with 1 read, 2 read, and I'm going to make a play for 8 yards, is that terrible? And where he's at, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, James, the only thing I would counter with, and I agree with you, the only thing I would counter with is, number one, I don't want the quarterback taking off too soon. Because he's not letting plays in front of him develop. His pass catchers wiggle free to get over. And number 2, anytime you step across that line of scrimmage, as you know, you're more susceptible. Defensive players hate quarterbacks as it is because they're the golden children of the NFL. I don't want to see him become more susceptible to taking unnecessary shots. But I agree with what you're saying.
Right. And Gunner, you're right. And it's kind of funny. We're tying this all back to like Russell Wilson, but he's a guy, and Russ and I have talked about it, that is so good at sliding and so good at getting down, that he has been so durable over the years, even though he's been one of these guys that plays outside the pocket so much. So if Jalen can make sure he protects himself, I'm not fine with it in a sense. But I get what you're saying too, Gunner. But with that, I'm kind of going, and this is the way it was in Cleveland. It was like, I can go to Devon, just go and look at the defense and go, where's my best matchup with these 3 guys? Because one of them are winning right off the jump. And that was happening repeatedly. Like if AJ has Ward on him, who's one of the best corners in football in these joint practices, well, then it's like, what? Devontae's going to be open immediately. And so I think he has easy wins early by what defenses can show him. So I think those opportunities will be there, and hopefully he doesn't put himself in that situation too much. But I think he still has that ability. I mean, they're not. I thought I heard the other day out of Philly, like they're not scared to call him a power runner between the tackles inside the 5, along with their backs, which I thought was an interesting take. But that they're going to play to his strengths a little bit as he continues. But I think what you have to do is, right, Rob, like you have to play to his strengths, but have him continue to grow at the same time. You can't rely on the strengths and then not grow as a quarterback.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. That's exactly what their thought process is. James, I want to jump a touch. I know you get 2 games in front of you before you get here, but I think Minnesota's an intriguing team. And I think they're a team with now an offensive mind running things. I think they needed to change the scenery from Zimmer. You got 2 killers on the outside at the receiver position. You got Dalvin Cook. You got Cousins. Certainly some ability on that other side of the ball as well. I think they could be a surprise team that's sort of like under the radar a little bit this year. What's your sense of the Vikings?
It's funny. We on one of our main preseason shows to kick off the year. I forget who it was on our game day morning group. It might have been Eisen or Irv picked Cousins as the MVP for this year, which I thought was a wild statement. But that does show you a little bit of, a new offensive mind coming in and kind of the way Kevin O'Connell has kind of gelled with Kirk early. And that's been kind of something around the league that people are talking about, the relationship they gained. I'll say this, back to the building that I'm in. If they didn't land Nathaniel Hackett, they were going to go with Kevin O'Connell. That he blew the Broncos away in his interview. And if you remember the process with Denver, everybody thought Dan Quinn was getting this job. Right when it became open, and the history with him and George Payton, and they thought that be bringing in Dan Quinn, and like Kevin O'Connell blew the doors off in their interview. They actually wanted to have another one with him, just to like see some more of him. That's how impressive he was. And if a guy can do that and wow a team in that sense, obviously the team that hired him, I would assume, very pleased with what they've done so far. But like, I think just the big things that jump out at me is, like you mentioned, some of those skill guys and stuff, and it's like, can Cook stay healthy for a whole year?
Yeah.
And obviously Philly's getting them right off the jump, so he's going to be there, and those guys are going to be there. But like, I do think this is one of the more complete teams. Asking around the league, they had one of the better drafts in the league. They had a ton of picks, if I remember right. But they had one of the better drafts around. I just think getting your quarterback comfortable and getting your quarterback on the same page, which is what we're talking about here in Denver. Is that going to be the case? That's everything. And week 1, it might be the right time to get Minnesota, because sometimes in that it takes a couple of weeks to really get on the same page.
Yeah.
Hey, James, when you look at a team like the Saints, and that's a big if we get to see a Jameis Winston who jumped out to a 14 touchdown, 3 interception start before he had the knee injury last year, with Pete Carmichael as his mentor, could the Saints be that team that upsets the entire NFC apple cart in a lot of ways?
I totally agree. Agree. I don't see too many locker rooms that are built the way New Orleans is, specifically with leadership. When you have somebody like Tyrann Mathieu that comes out, who I think is one of the best leaders I've ever been around, to come out and say, and Mario Davis, I've never seen a leader like this in my life. So like, when you have guys that can come in when you lose a coach like Sean Payton, and you can continue to keep the locker room where it's at, and you have Cam Jordan and Demario Davis, and then you look at the secondary with Lattimore and Tyrann Mathieu and the group that they have back there, and they were so deep, they were willing to kind of, even though he's talented, give up CJ. I just think, Gunnar, that little I guess sample size we had in Jameis Winston last year, I'm curious if it's going to be the same mindset though, because he didn't have the weapons he has now. So they were unbelievably conservative with him and how he threw the football. I mean, he was throwing at a lower clip than he's ever had in his entire career. Now he was protecting it, which was great, but he didn't have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, and Jarvis Landry to throw to. He had maybe one of the worst receiving cores we've seen in recent memory that he was throwing the football to. None of those guys are even really playing for this team. And then you have Alvin Kamara out of the backfield as one of the best receiving backs in football. I'm curious if they're going to let him cut loose a little bit because of the talent that's around him. It's like, I mean, you're throwing a deep ball to Michael Thomas is a little different than the deep ball that he was throwing to the guys a year ago. It's probably going to be caught or incomplete with Mike. And so I'm curious the way Pete's going to design it, because they still believe they are a defensive team. But with that talent, you got to take some shots. The consensus around the league really is that Chris Olave is going to win Rookie of the Year. That's what a lot of people around the league really believe. And it's not crazy to think that when you look at the matchups, if Mike Thomas is healthy, he's going to get number 2 corners like crazy. He's one of the most polished receivers to come into the league in recent memory. And so it's a decent pick. And so I think the Saints are that team. And they also, no matter whether, since Brady's been there, they've given a ton of headaches to the Bucs. And you look at the rest of their division, like the Panthers are like, the Falcons are. So like they could get some easy wins. When we're talking about the AFC West, there are no easy wins. Some easy wins and some big wins. They're the team that everybody's going, oh, wow, this team's really well put together.
James, you segued right into mine. It's my last one from me. I know it's sacrilege to even question, could this be the year that you'd see a step back from Brady? But it's been a weird offseason, even by Brady standards. What's your sense of that in Tampa? I mean, you do have a new head coach. I know Todd Bowles was there as the coordinator, but there's a little bit of a transition there that we never really ever bring up. And his offensive line is a a mash unit. So what's your sense of that?
That's the one. I mean, Philly was in no business being in that game at all, right? And you saw when Tristan Wirfs got hurt, how different the pressure on Brady was, because I think Wirfs is one of the best offensive linemen in football already at a young age. And I just think what has been the one kryptonite to Brady has been that pass rush up the middle. Like, he is so brilliant at stepping up and letting, edge rushers go behind him. And when you lose Ryan Jensen, I think that, I mean, we're lucky as a league to have so few major injuries this year in training camp. I mean, it was, you could probably count them on one hand. I mean, I think you had the returner and receiver in Cleveland. You had Tim Patrick here in Denver. You had Ryan Jensen, and that was like it. And Ryan is so important to Brady. I know Ryan pretty well, and the way that they communicated and what he set up front in terms of protections. And then you lose your guard to go to, Cincinnati in free agency. You lose another guard to retirement. I mean, they're thin in the middle, and I think that's a big issue. He's got weapons. He always finds a way. And him and Leftwich together, though, is the positive. I mean, like, there's There's a
Great
relationship there that is through the roof. And him and Byron putting a game plan together. There were times, and it's a really fun couple of moments that are on NFL films, to where he comes over the sideline to Byron, and Byron's like, "What do you think? What do you want?" And Brady's like, "No, you just call it. You're cooking, man. You're cooking. Just keep going."
Really?
When you have a guy with 7 rings tell you, "Hey, you just keep calling it. I'm not changing it." That's a pretty good relationship. But I think that interior offensive line is a big issue. It's good that Chris Godwin, local kid too, from Philly, is starting the season off a little bit closer to 100% than people thought, and I think that's a big part for them as well.
Hey, James, does Baker Mayfield rise from the ashes in Carolina?
I mean, if I could just,
that sigh just told you a lot right there.
If I could read you the text that I'm on with a group includes Steve Smith, former Panthers great. What's going on? And
Steve doesn't hold back much.
Steve does not hold back much. So, I do think last year was a really difficult season for him physically. Obviously, we all know, and going out there and going out and playing it, I do think was pretty gutsy. But I mean, I was there for the Thursday night game when, the team didn't know he was going to play or not. And then he kept saying he was going to play. And Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. were like, "Nah, we're not healthy enough to play, man. We're not healthy enough to play." And then Wednesday practice rolled around. I remember being in Cleveland, and Case Keenum comes out. And they're like, "Case is starting." All of a sudden, Odell and Landry were like, "Oh, we're good. We're good." And they both played Thursday because Baker wasn't playing. So I think that's a great indication of a change of scenery was desperately needed. I think he's an accurate passer. I think this is the last part about it is it's much more telling about where Sam Darnold is than where Baker Mayfield is. As quickly as he won that job and how fast that process happened. I think obviously Baker can rub some people the wrong way, but I know plenty of people in that Browns building too that like absolutely loved his tenacity. And when we're talking back to the beginning of guys that drive you crazy by the way they're wired, it's a little easier, Gunnar, like you said, when you got rings or when you're throwing picks and you're having issues getting the football downfield. It's a little different.
I slightly lied. I don't have a football question. I know you got to get out of here, but the Phils, you keep a close eye on the Phils.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of a rocky road on the West Coast, but they've at least rebounded slightly here the first 2 games against the Marlins. Are they a playoff team, James?
I think they are, and mainly because I've seen the spurts in terms of the defense was such a question mark at the beginning of the season, and then we saw a pretty decent stretch where they were playing pretty good defensive baseball, and I think the bullpen's better than what I thought it was going to be. I just think what we saw last year needs to happen, right? You need Bryce to go on a tear. You need a couple of guys to follow that. I mean, they've had some big hits lately. They've had some collapses lately too, which have driven me completely insane. I don't get very upset about sports unless it's the Phillies. I'll be honest. That's really the main part that I get really angry
you and your
about.
dad commiserating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
People
a big
don't know
turn it off.
James' dad is Scott Palmer, the great Scott Palmer. Yes.
Yeah, he's a big turn it off, text me, then turn it back on. Like he can't get away. He wants to get away from it, but he can't. So he just it's bad. Like turn around, turn back to this ballpark.
I love it.
Hey, James, my final question to you. Season opener tonight. I'm still surprised Bills are the slight favorites on the road at the Rams' house. Who do you like in this game tonight and why?
I like the Rams just because Sean doesn't lose openers. I mean, he's 5-0 with the Rams, and they're home. The only negative I can think of for the Rams is that they're coming off like the Super Bowl high, and there's sometimes a low week 1 just because you're riding too high. I think the Bills are fantastic. I did the Bills-Broncos preseason game in Buffalo. I drove there from Cleveland after the joint practices, and God, that team is so deep. Buffalo is so deep. And I think that's great for the duration of the season. I just don't bet against Sean McVay in certain instances, and I think this is one of them that I think he's circled to say like everybody picking Buffalo as the Super Bowl favorite. Josh Allen's the MVP favorite. We're going to make a statement week 1, and I would go with McVay. Especially it's year 2. What did they do in year 1 with him and Matthew Stafford?
I know, man.
Great point. Yeah, I don't know. We're not from. I don't remember that far back. James, great stuff, man. Follow him on Twitter at James Palmer TV, and of course his work on the NFL Network. When can we see you today? What time? Or what's your first?
I'm on in like 20 minutes. Yeah.
All right. We got to let you go do your thing, James. Appreciate it, brother.
Right. Appreciate you, man. Yep. Be good, bro.
Take it easy.
All right, you got it. I'll tell you, Derek. Not only is he a phenomenal reporter and just a pros pro,
right?
He's a great dude, James Palmer.
Oh, no question.
He's just a regular dude. Like he's kind of guy you sit down, you have a beer with, you get something to eat with, whatever, and just talk football and talk sports and life. Just a really good dude.
I've known him since before he got into business, man. That's how far I go back. When I first got to this market, his dad was still on TV. On 6 ABC, I believe it was.
Yeah, exactly. For years, he was a staple, man.
Yeah, exactly. So, to watch him evolve and grow as he has, man, I've loved it, man. And I love his insights and his knowledge. And you can tell he has a passion for what he does. He just loves what he does, as we do. Yeah. But, it's love to see him get to where he's gotten in his career.
Great dude. All right. So we'll keep here's what we have coming up. We still didn't get to our NFC contenders questions.
Because we were having so much fun all week.
I know. Like we planned on this for 2 straight days, and we had so much other stuff going on, we didn't get to it. So we will get to it today. In addition to that, Derek, 4 or 5 games somewhere in that neighborhood that are going to surprise you this week. Okay, and you could mix tonight, and if you want to mix tonight and whatever, but we will do that as well. Just kind of real. I got a couple, man, that I feel pretty good about.
Okay,
Pretty good. That'll surprise you a little bit. There's other news that we will get to. Including Matthew Stafford, and a little injury update on him, one retirement and contract status. We'll get into all that kind of stuff, as well as the Phillies who won again. How about that Edmundo Sosa? You can't stop him, Derek. You only hope to contain him.
There you go.
Unbelievable. So we got all that coming up. Barrett will be jumping back in a little bit. Yes. So we got plenty in store. So don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. All right, let's talk Pro Action Restoration. Pro Action Restoration is who you call if you get flooding, if you get water damage, if you get smoke damage, if you get mold, whatever the case may be. They can get over to your house, your property that you may own, whatever the case may be, your business, and they will take care of it. They're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week, Pro Action is. I've gone through it. I had them come over on a Saturday. They got there. They cleaned it up. The crew was professional. The price was reasonable. Most importantly as well, they are licensed, bonded, and fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. All right. So they are a reputable company. They will work in conjunction with your insurance company also. Again, could be water, could be fire, could be smoke, could be mold, you name it. They can handle it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or reach out online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
My wife was in an accident that changed our lives forever. She was in rehabilitation for years. She had to learn to walk again. She couldn't take care of herself. We couldn't afford a nurse. We were running out of options. One conversation with Pond Lee Hockey changed everything. They understood what we were going through and immediately helped us navigate the legal process. We can't thank them enough.
Pond Lee Hockey. Tell us your story.
Go for the pulls and the pools. Go for the oohs and the ahs. Go for the bubbles and the bubbly. Go for the story and the stories. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
It's the #1 news at 10 p.m. Action News on PHL 17. Join Shari Williams, Gray Hall, Deuces Rogers, and meteorologist Adam Joseph for all the big stories at a time that's right for you. Action News at 10 p.m. on PHL 17.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
but as I always say,
It's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that. Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
Welcome back in, everybody. Rob Ellis, Derek Gunn. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network on this Thursday. Barrett be hopping back on about a half hour, somewhere in that range. So we just wrapped up with James Palmer, and I always like to remind folks, and what was it, Tuesday, we had Greg Cosell and Mike Missinelli on. You can always go back and watch our interviews, portions of it in its entirety, whatever the case may be. We podcast everything, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, as well as JAKIBsports.com. So you have plenty of options to go back if you missed. If you want to check out the entirety of any show that we do, it's there too. Yeah, that's the beauty of what we do, Derek, is, we're not, you can't only watch us from 12 to 3 Eastern. You can watch us anytime. And Derek will even take his microphone off of mute when that's the case.
I like how you got that in there.
See that?
That's professionalism right there. Didn't miss a beat.
Appreciate it. Yes. So anyway, always good catching up with James. And like I said, plenty of NFL in store. We have some good birthdays today too, Derek. A couple movies, which we'll talk about a little bit later. All right, I want to hit you with this. So the Phillies won 4-3 last night. They're up 2-0 in the series.
Yep.
Over the Marlins. They're now, Derek, they're 4 games up on the Brewers.
Yep.
So they're in like a pretty much a tie with the Padres, although they hold the tiebreaker. Milwaukee's been a mess. You know this. They have been a total disaster. But the Phillies now, Derek, are 10-5 on the season versus to the Fish, which is they have been a nemesis of them forever. So I don't care how ugly it is, and it hasn't exactly been works of art. They're getting wins somehow, some way.
At this point of a season, I don't care if they accidentally win games, as long as they keep piling up the wins. Yeah. Especially with the way the bullpen has been suspect as of late for this Phillies team, and we keep our fingers crossed that Wheeler's coming back soon. Eflin potentially is coming back. Dominguez is coming back to solidify the back end of that bullpen. And just like they did when Harper went down and Castellano went down in the middle part of the season back in July and stuff, you just have to hold on. And the Phillies have done an admirable job of holding on. Just when you thought they could fall apart, they rise to the occasion and put together a string of wins. And, they played, 2 one-run ball games against the Marlins now?
Yep.
And the big picture is they're on the winning side of those 2 ledgers and not on the losing side. And they're right where they need to be at this time.
Yeah, no question. So a couple things. I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. Props to Rob Thompson. He inserts Edmundo Sosa in there the other night, and he delivers for him. He says, you know what? I want to reward him. He was so good on Tuesday. I'm going to start him on Wednesday as well. All Sosa has done, Derek, is go 5 for 5 with 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and just tear it up in the last 2 games, not to mention his prowess on defense. He's made plays all over the field, including last night on another Real Muto throwout where he does this like yoga move where he catches it, legs split, still applies the tag, insane athletic play. this is what you need when you're a team that's trying to get into the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. Somebody's got to step up for them. Sosa did it.
Well, that's been the case for most of this season. How many times have we given props to the young, like Veerling, Stott, all these guys? You know, when the big boppers haven't been, you know, swinging away and making consistent contact, it's been the back end of this lineup that has come through for this team. And you look at the game last night. You know, Veerling goes 2 for 3 and
great
has
catch
2 runs
in right
scored.
field.
Yeah, great catch in right field. Sosa 3 for 3, 3 RBI, home run, 1 run scored. You can't ask for more than that. You know, basically Sosa, you know, won that game for him last night. Mm-hmm. You know, not just offensively, but defensively.
Yeah.
You know, as well. And that's what you need. And that depth is going to carry them a long ways come postseason time. You know, Rob Thompson is in a good position to have so much versatility and depth on this team that it's going to be difficult for him to decide, okay, who do I play, when, and how? You know, and I like that. You know, the better teams in the National League, the Mets, Braves, Dodgers, they have that kind of versatility, and so do the players. So do the Phillies, I should say.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm with you, Derek. So the other guy that has to get some love here is Bailey Falter. He goes 5 1/3 last night, gives up 2. Phillies are 5-0 in his last 5 starts, and it's not like they've scored 100 runs in those starts. He's pitched very well for them. He has kind of bridged that gap with Wheeler out for right now, and obviously you want Wheeler back as soon as possible. But you know, he might also. Jim Salisbury floated this today in NBC Sports Philadelphia, and I agree with Jim. If you're looking to push these guys back a day just to sort of give them some rest before we really hit it hard here with the last few series, now you feel okay about using Falter in that situation to buy these guys a day or 2.
Look at Falter in his last 4 starts. First of all, the Phillies have won their last 4, and he's 4-0 in his last 4 starts. In those 4 starts, 23 2/3 innings, 19 hits, 7 earned runs, a 2.66 ERA. Now, here's what's more impressive. Only 2 walks and 18 strikeouts.
You nailed it. You nailed it at the end there. That 18-2 ratio is phenomenal.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And what was one of the things we were screaming about on the West Coast trip? All the walks, right? All the free passes, hit by pitch. You know, Falter's he's trusting his stuff, and he's letting his fielders make plays behind him. And that's all you can ask for a young guy. And he's getting pretty invaluable experience. And you're right. There is good news on the horizon. So Sir Anthony and Eflin tonight and tomorrow, respectively, will pitch an inning to kind of just and then see how they feel at AAA, I should say. We'll pitch a minor league rehab start in AAA. Wheeler didn't have any pain or discomfort after his he played long toss or something like that the other day. Right. So they feel like he's starting to get a little bit closer too. So that's some good news here on the horizon for this team.
If you get Eflin and Wheeler back, especially when you get to the postseason, when you're talking about shortening up your starting pitching rotation, think about how valuable Falter could be coming out of that bullpen, you know, for this team. You know, Brad Hand has some difficult. Robertson has really shocked me in terms of the way he has been inconsistent as of late. Yeah. Falter could be that guy out of your bullpen in a crucial situation.
Yep. No, you dead on. I think it's a great point. That's another area. Well, the other thing that they're looking to do is Eflin is likely going to be used out of the pen. So, you know, you get hit. Yeah. So that's another option here for this team, the way you could utilize him.
So you're looking at your rotation in the playoff series. It could be Nola, Wheeler, and Gibson. And then look at the depth and versatility you have coming out of that pen in crucial situations. Yeah. That's why I say I like the chances against mostly anybody in the National League in a playoff series, because so many players that you weren't expecting have gotten valuable experience in crucial situations, and more times than not, they have withstood the test and come out shining on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So just back to the standings, and I'll get you set for what's tonight here with them. As far as the wild card goes, as I mentioned, you know, they're right there. You know, the Padres are and the Phillies are neck and neck. Phillies are 75 and 61. Padres are 76 and 62. Phillies do hold the tiebreaker. So that's your second and third place team. They're not catching Atlanta. Forget that. So Milwaukee, they've dropped their last 2, but they've been bad. I mean,
their pitching has been abysmal.
They're 4 games back. So what you want to do is just keep building on this thing if you're the Phillies. So they get one more tonight. They go for the sweep over the Marlins tonight. And, what you need most importantly is you need a bounce back here because Kyle Gibson in his last outing was terrible. So Gibson goes tonight against Alcantara. So that's not a great matchup, Derek, by any stretch.
But they've done well against him.
They have.
This season. The previous 2 times they've done well against him.
Yeah.
And I expect the Phillies, understanding the urgency from now until the end of the regular season of what they're trying to do and where they're trying to get, I expect them to be on point. This is a game I probably will be watching a football game more so than the baseball game, but I'll be keeping an eye on the Phillies game as well. That's the one good thing about modern technology. This little trusty thing right here.
Oh, man.
You can watch the game on your phone now.
Yep.
So I'll be watching the Phillies game from my phone while I'm watching the football game with many interruptions in between, of course.
Yeah, stream the Phillies and have the football on the big screen. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan. Yeah. So that's the Philly situation as they go into tonight again, 6:40 start against the Marlins. So you do get a little bit of a head start before the football game starts, about an hour and a half. That's for sure. I wanted to pass this on, and we'll swing it back into football in 1 second. Do you see Queen Elizabeth died? I'm not a big royal person, but that's significant. Here. Yeah, it's a big
how old was she? 98.
I think.
98. My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good run.
It's one heck of a run, and I know it's a big deal over there, and it's a big deal globally. Yeah. It's on all the wires now about she finally passed, but I've never been big into the British royalty like that, but it is a big deal.
Yeah.
When you consider how long she's reigned and how long she lived, man, what a long, illustrious life she's had.
96. She was 96.
96.
I'm sorry. I said 98. Yeah. So I want to also give a little love to Bernard Shaw, who was a great anchor for CNN for a long time. Just a great newsman and journalist, a fair, objective guy. Passed away at 82. So anyway, just to throw that out there too, to give it a little sympathy out there. All right, a couple NFL stories, and then we'll get into our other subjects we're going to dip into here. So Matthew Stafford had an offseason elbow procedure we discussed a little bit earlier. He says he feels 1,000 times better than he felt to start last year. He got through the entire year last year, but he said there were some things he couldn't do last year necessarily, some throws he couldn't make, and they've really gone cautious with him this whole offseason and this whole preseason. But he's apparently revved up and ready to go, and he feels as good as he's felt in a long time.
I don't know, Rob. He openly admitted about throws he couldn't make. He made some doggone good throws in that Super Bowl game against Cincinnati.
Touch throws, too.
So whatever he was going through, you talk about a guy who sucked it up and got through.
Yeah.
So if he feels 1,000 times better now, well, let's see it tonight. Let's see what you got tonight because you've got the weapons at your disposal. I'm interested in seeing also how Allen Robinson fits into this offense. Now, obviously, the first game, you're not going to show everything the first game, but I'm interested in seeing how they integrate him to go along with Cooper Kupp and the offensive weapons as well. There's so many storylines in this game tonight, man. I just can't wait to see it.
I'm with you. And they get Higbee back too, who's a really underrated tight end. I think he's really solid.
Yeah, I think he goes under the radar. When you mention the best tight ends in the game, his name doesn't come up right away. You're talking Mark Andrews, you're talking, Kelsey, George Kittle, and I don't think he gets enough love for what he is. He's had to go through some injury problems in his career, but he can play on my team. If the other guys aren't available, he can play on my team any day of the week.
I'm with you. All right, so Lamar Jackson met with the media yesterday. One of the things he leaked out, which I'm sure John Harbaugh wasn't exactly doing backflips, that J.K. Dobbins is still a couple weeks away. He didn't do it on purpose. He was kind of asked about it. He was, we'll see him in a couple weeks or something. Oh, okay, a couple weeks. So that was interesting. But he also said that, look, they're still talking, and he's going to put a deadline on the contract thing until tomorrow, Friday.
Right,
so that's. I'm going down with the ship, Gunner, with this one. I still think they get it done before they play on Sunday.
I'm with you. We've seen it happen time and time again in the 11th hour, somehow, some way. Two sides get it done right before they kick off their season. But I like Lamar's approach. Okay, Friday, we've had all spring, all summer to get this thing done. If it's not done, I don't want the distraction because him and his mom are the agents. He doesn't want to be worried about contract talks, trying to get ready to play games week in and week out to help his team win, especially now that we know the top two running backs are not going to be available for a couple of weeks. So he's got to focus on putting his team on his back and getting his team off to a good start. He also knows the media is going to constantly bring it up no matter what he tells them on the surface, but he can deflect that real quick. You know what? Not talking about contract. The contract, we'll get to that at the end of the season. I'm focused on playing football. That can be a short discussion instead of letting this thing linger on and talking about me. He wants to focus on we instead of me.
Yeah. And I think that he's really, he's handled this very well, I think.
Right.
He's made it known. Obviously, he wants to get the deal done. He hasn't been – it's a natural distraction no matter what because he doesn't have the deal signed. But I don't think he's made it more of what it is. I think he's gone about his business in a good way. And I think it helps when you have an organization like Baltimore. I'm sure there's trust there. Will it get a little sideways if he doesn't have a deal done by tomorrow? Maybe. I don't know. But he's still going to show up every Sunday. I know that about him. So,
well, you look at a Lamar Jackson and his mindset should be, look, I have made a lot of money in this game already. And thanks to the way contracts have escalated over the last year, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, I'm in that conversation. So therefore, if I stay healthy and do what I know I can do, the bigger money is going to come. And if I put up big numbers this year, the numbers go up even more so after this season. Now, it's a risk because you've got to sidestep 17 games and stay healthy to have that discussion weigh heavily in your favor at the end of the season. But, he's in a great position, a young quarterback still in his prime, one of the more gifted quarterbacks in the game overall, athletic, arm strength, ability to win games in any given moment. He's got everything in his favor right now. Now you got to go out and just play football, man. It's not like you're on a poor man's rookie contract. You've been handsomely paid, up to this point to play the game. And you're going to get triple that and then some if you do what you're capable of doing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Emmanuel Sanders, the receiver, Denver, San Francisco, etc. Really solid career. He hung it up, 35 years old.
Man, it's amazing. 30. When I saw that yesterday, I'm thinking, man, he's 35 already and probably could still play the game at a high level. Very quick receiver, very good route runner, great hands. He said a number of teams that had inquired about him before coming to this decision, but I also saw where he has a TV job waiting for him. Yes. But I haven't heard any network leak anything about him joining. I don't know if it's a local TV station that he's talking about.
In Denver. Yeah, I don't know.
Or a national job, but if he's ready to make that transition now, and let's face it, Rob, some players get to a point when you hit your mid-30s, I don't want to go through this anymore.
No.
A quality of life. I want to enjoy my family. I've taken care of my money. Now it's time for me to take care of my body and my mind and to move on to something else. And if he can make that natural transition, so many players in their careers, they don't know what they're going to do next. But if he has another window of opportunity sitting there waiting for him, you know what? More power to him. Good luck to him.
Well, I think it's a minor miracle. If you get to 35 in the NFL, you're probably going more than 5 times of what the average lifespan is for an NFL player.
Sure.
Think about that, or four times at least. That's a crazy accomplishment, man.
Especially a receiver. When you're 35 and you still have that burst and you can still play the game at a high level, but you've decided to pump the brakes on your athletic career and move on to a second tier in life. That's a good feeling to walk away from. And plus, he said, he's worried about quality of health, as all players are and should be. When they get to a certain point, when you hear all the stories that are now coming out about CTE, brain damage, Alzheimer's, dementia with players, if he feels he's getting out on top right now, move on, man.
Yeah. All right. Lastly, let me give you these quotes because this is going to touch into, I think, something we're doing next segment. But Carson Wentz discussed playing against Doug Peterson. That's the Commanders played the Jags this week. He said, in reference to Doug, Carson said, quote, he meant a lot. He meant a lot with the kind of whirlwind that year was. Learning I was the starter 8 days before the season. He's talking about the 2016 year.
Okay.
All those things. I thought he was a great coach, great guy, fun to be around. Meant a lot over the years, went through a lot of good and some bad, obviously, together, but he means a lot to me. So that's we all know that relationship was not great the last year here. That's for sure. So
But he put the perfect spin on it. You know, don't give the media and the other team anything that they can use to blow up in print, or another team can use for motivation to play against you. And that's a sign of maturity. You know, because as you just mentioned, he said good and some bad. Now at that point you say, okay, wait, what's the bad? What's the bad? See, we didn't hear the good. You're thinking, okay, what was the bad? You know, but he didn't play into that. You know, he said, hey, look, he was being honest. We had some good, we had some bad. We moved on. He meant a lot to my development and my career. You know, and so be it. You know, so is that a part of the maturation of Carson Wentz? We're gonna find out.
I'll buy it when I see it.
There you go. We're gonna find out. There you go. All right.
We will. All right. Lastly, in regards to tonight, this one's not a shocker, but Van Jefferson will not be playing. Remember, he's coming off the knee surgery.
Yep.
He will not play, is likely to miss more than one game, according to Josina Anderson.
Okay.
So definitely no Van Jefferson. So heavy dose of Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson tonight. Barrett is back. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. What's up, babe? I mean, had to interview Lafayette's football team coaches. So
okay, you got Lafayette in Temple this week.
Yes. Lafayette. I mean, Pennsylvania's on Lafayette.
That's it, man.
Not New Orleans or down there, but it's here.
Is that a home game for Temple?
It's home game in the Vet.
Rob, will you be there?
$1 million for that. I even tried to get Rob tickets. He can't make it. I want to give him tickets.
I'm going to try. I have to work, but I'm going to try to go at least be there for a little while. Next week is homecoming, I think. Or something like, I think it's home. It feels early, but it is.
I got that game also. It's
all right, good. You want to hook your boy up with some tickets, Barrett?
I got you.
All right. You got me next week. Yeah.
I got you. I had tickets for you this week. So okay. I got you.
Okay.
3 spot?
I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you.
All right. D-Gun, would you like tickets?
No, thank you.
No shot, Derek.
Nope.
Derek in a Temple game, please.
Nope.
No shot.
Nope. Not gonna happen. Nope.
Oh my God. All right. Let's do
this.
this.
I did get the I got the restaurant. I put it on the chat.
What's it called?
It's called Fish Bones.
Fish Bones.
I got the stuff called alligator voodoo.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What is that?
Fried alligator nuggets.
Wow. Dude, let me tell you something. I had them down in Florida a few years ago with one of my wife's cousins, fried alligator nuggets as an appetizer. I'm telling you, some of the best ever. And I'd had alligator before, but these were off the chart good, man. And
Rob, fresh.
Oh yeah,
it can't be fresh in Detroit.
Well, you know the funny, really. The funny thing was my wife's cousin and I were driving to the restaurant, and we go down this road. I'm like, "Where the heck are you going through a neighborhood?" And laying on the side of the road was a dead gator.
Oh man!
And I'm thinking, can
you
imagine going out for a family walk and stumbling upon this thing? You don't know if it's alive or dead.
No, that's just what I'm saying. I just can't. I went golfing one time, and people were acting like there's gators on the court. They act like it was just cool, like to have an alligator out there. No, it's not cool to have an alligator out there. It's not.
Yeah, that's when I go in the clubhouse. I'll see you at the bar. I don't think there's any gators at the bar. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, we've seen highlights of PGA events where a guy has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the edge of the grass, and all of a sudden there's a gator looking at him. You know, and they're just standing, they're getting a swing, and here comes a gator up out of the water, just slowly walking across the fairway or the green.
Yeah,
and you're thinking, oh no, that's not my idea. You know, I don't have a death wish.
There is no ball that's worth
exactly.
challenging the gator.
We are not that high on the food chain.
No,
with the gator.
Yeah, you're not winning that one.
Gonna do it.
No. All right, we'll step aside. We'll come back. NFC contenders with questions. Couple games that may shock us here. Week 1, some surprises from week 1. We will dig into both of those things when we get back. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. Let's talk a little Razor technology. Yes, Razor technology. Data is everywhere, right, in business today. But when it's locked away in silos, it can't be efficiently used, and businesses don't have time to wait for the insights that shape decision-making. Razor Technologies data management not only integrates data from wherever it's generated or collected, but provides a uniform structure for storing, interpreting, and distributing it to decision makers. Razor helps businesses transform their model data, use it to populate real-time dashboards, and create shareable reports that highlight key areas of progress as well as warning signs in need of attention. smart data analytics, and the tools to make data insights easily digestible help businesses of all sizes and types discover where they could be untapping significant savings. Razor technology can help you break down your silos and fully realize the value of your data to drive growth for your business. Learn more. Contact Razor Tech today at 866-797-3282 or visit them online, razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Android TV, or Apple TV? Now you can watch 6ABC 24/7 with the 6ABC Philadelphia streaming app.
The big story on Action News.
Search 6ABC Philadelphia and start streaming today.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction, go with trust,
Go Birds!
and go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
Welcome to Pondley Hockey, the largest workers' compensation law firm in Pennsylvania. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. Even better, Pondley Hockey doesn't charge a dime until you win. If you've been injured at work, give Pondley Hockey a call.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
All right, we are back. It's the Great Sports Day. JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis hanging out with you on a Thursday as we kick off the NFL season tonight with the Rams and the Bills. Cannot wait for that game tonight. And of course, the Eagles on Sunday at 1:00 against the Lions. All right, so we meant to get to this a couple times this week. We just had so much going on. We kind of pushed it back a little bit to today. We already did the AFC, but how about NFC contenders with questions? Now, I'll give you some of the teams, and you may say, hey, you got to throw somebody else in there. Somebody else could be competing, whatever. Now, let's exclude the Eagles because we do the Eagles every day. We know what the questions are. We know what we feel good about. Let's deal with the other teams here. But I got the Rams, the Bucks, the Packers, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Vikings. You could certainly make a case for others like the Saints, et cetera. And we could throw others in there as we go. But it's kind of the usual suspects, who you would think. All right. But so let's start with the defending champs here. Let's start with the Rams. Two things. One, Stafford, the arm, he had a procedure done on it, as we know, and he's saying he feels as good as he's felt, et cetera, et cetera. But still, that's got to be something you got to keep your eye on. And he's a guy who takes a beating, and he's a tough dude, but it could be concerning here. No teams repeated since 2005 is the one that I really hang my hat on when it comes to the Rams. So let's look at the Rams, and you guys give me the things that you look at you may think are issues for them this upcoming season. Yeah, it's tough, right? There's not a lot to jump to mind.
Yeah, well, defensively.
Okay.
I don't know. One big concern for me is the starting left tackle. I think Notebook is there. I mean, let me look and see who was the guy's name. It's Noteboom. Joe Noteboom is starting left tackle. Yeah, starting for Whitworth, one of the best left tackles in the league for years. This is a young guy. He's thrusted in and protecting the backside of the quarterback. We don't know how good this kid is. They might have to game plan him, and he might be the weak link. When you're a weak link like that, and you're the quarterback's backside, you can't run the full gambit of what you want to do on offense because you got to send protection his way. And, oh, by the way, he's a TCU guy. So I don't know. TCU guys, I don't know, man. I just don't know about TCU offensive linemen these days.
Well, look, I think that's fair. And, Stafford is not what you call mobile. I mean, I wouldn't call him a statue either. I think he's athletic, but he's not a guy who can, if he's got if there's a blindside issue, he could get creamed. And like I said, he's taking a beating, and he might be one hit away from some real trouble. So that's a fair concern. Defensively, we know they still have a lot of staples there, Aaron Donald, et cetera, Ramsey, but they did lose. He did lose Von Miller. I mean, that's something.
That's huge.
I mean, he was a big deal. So that's a problem.
He started the whole thing going in the right direction in the game.
Yeah, I think this team is so deep and talented with Sean McVay at the helm. I just think they're a lock as a playoff team. I don't know if they're going to win 12 games, but I think they're a lock as a playoff game in the NFC, as a playoff team in the NFC. Mm-hmm. I like the running game. I like the dual back combination. I like their wide receivers, the tight end. When you're talking Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey on that defense, that's a lot of talent on that defense, man. And I don't see how. I'd be shocked if they didn't make the playoffs. If I were a betting man, I'd bet the farm that they're going to be in the playoffs and that they're going to win that division. I just think they're that talented.
Yep.
Yeah, I say this all the time. I'm still amazed that they've been able to do what they've done with a salary cap. It just shows you that, the salary cap is kind of bogus if you can figure out ways to do. And the Eagles are great at it, signing bonuses and converting money and moving money around and all that.
Rob,
all that good stuff.
You're right, man. I mean, how do you sign Bobby Wagner and you were against the cap so much? You signed Bobby Wagner.
Right.
That's something.
Allen Robinson. It didn't matter.
Did you hear the story about how Bobby Wagner even got to the Rams?
No.
So when he parted ways with Seattle, he sends a text to the people in the Rams front office, and the people are like, "Is this a hoax, Bobby Wagner? Is this a hoax?" Or they thought it was a hoax.
It was really him. He just reached out to even. Oh, because does he not have an agent? I'm trying to remember what his story.
I don't know if he has an agent, but
okay.
But he reached out to the Rams front office, and they go, Bobby Wagner. Oh yeah.
So somebody's pranking us here. Yeah.
But they thought it was a prank first before they actually realized it was him.
No kidding. That's
Big
cool.
Big Red thought it was a prank when I came in. Hey man, I'll give you the fan of this guy. They try to say, "Are you kidding me? Oh, we don't need you anymore."
He did it. He did help you. He helped you find a landing spot, though.
Yeah, he did.
All right. Well, let's jump to the Bucks because they may not be everybody's, second runner up here at least before the season starts, but it's still Tom Brady. They still went deep last year. I'll start. And Barrett, I know you hopped off for a second. We had James Palmer on, but I have a hard time getting past that offensive line and some of the issues they have, and in particular, right up the middle with him. That to me is going to be the biggest issue.
They have a rookie starting left guard, number one. Donovan Smith is still a really good left tackle. They still have Tristan Wirfs, really good right tackle.
Shaq
Mason is another guy, that's not really tested right now. We'll see. They've got him from New England, so I think he'd be all right. Then Robert Hainsey. I don't like. It's not my guy there.
Yeah.
Jensen is not there.
Yep.
Ryan Jensen is one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah.
And we all know that Brady, as soon as he gets it, boom, Pats. He already know where he's going with the ball anyways. But as soon as he gets it, bam, he gets it out. He's going to have that ball precisely out the butt quick. Because right up the middle, they're just not strong enough. And he was always a firm believer in having an offensive line that allows him to step up. And I don't know if these guys allow him to step up.
Yeah, it's that's definitely one to keep your eye on, man. That's for sure. All right, so go Packers.
Defensively, they're good. Hold on, but we didn't talk about their defense.
Okay, good. Yeah, go ahead.
They are nasty at defense.
Yes.
Golston, Vita Vea, and they just got Hakeem Nicks from the Chicago Bears.
From the Bears, yep.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
that's not even fair. That's not even fair. They picked up Carl Nasby also from Vegas. I mean, come on, man. Then you got the linebacker position, Devin White,
my goodness, yes.
Levante David, Shaq Barrett.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not fair, man. It's not fair. Then it's safety. They got Winfield, son of Hitfield. They're going to be all right.
That was a good draft pick, too. I think he was out of Minnesota. Good player. Yeah.
Yep.
You got Davis on one of your corners.
Yep.
You know, I said the other day, and I'll say it again, Tom Brady has the quickest trigger in the league. I think he will set a new record for ball release once he gets the ball in his hands. Because when you're throwing to the likes of Evans, Godwin, Russell Gage, Julio Jones, Brashard Perryman, Cameron Brate, Kyle Rudolph, it's like we've been talking about with the Eagles, somebody's going to be open.
Mm-hmm.
And Brady will find, if anybody will find him, but it'll be Brady. You got Leonard Fournette, you can hand the ball off to, take some of the heat off you. This is a playoff team. 3/5 of their offensive line is decent, is trustworthy. The center position is a huge question mark, but I don't think there's any way again, here's another team. How can they not be a playoff team? They're going to win their division.
Yeah, the division, the only team that's other than New Orleans, Carolina and Atlanta. Come on, man.
Carolina might give them. Carolina might split with them. They might.
What's the matter, Barry?
I'm looking at John Dickerson. He's gonna say Bobby Wagner will play like Honus Wagner. Who the hell is Honus Wagner?
Hey, he's an old school baseball player. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, man. I tell you what. You say who is Honus Wagner? Let me tell you this: if you had a mint condition, Honus Wagner baseball card, you can walk away from this show today.
That's very true.
I kid you not. If I find a mint condition Honus Wagner baseball card, I'll be texting you people from afar for the rest of my life.
Stop lying, because you wouldn't even text me.
Really? I text you more than you text me. Yeah, keep that in mind. Just keep
text about the show. You ain't texting me. You texting all of us.
No,
texting about the show.
No.
You hear him, Rob?
I'm not getting involved in this one. You two.
If it has nothing to do with it doesn't have to do with the show.
Hey, I sent you guys a nice little video this morning, didn't I?
You did.
Did you watch the video?
I watched it.
Eddie Griffin is nuts.
He is nuts. Yes, he is.
Great stick, though. It was a great
content we couldn't quite use on the show.
Show.
Yeah. Packers. We know the biggie here, Davante Adams, right? But does it go deeper than that? Is there more to this than just, hey, they lost Davante Adams, but everybody else is back? There's also a couple pieces on defense too.
I think they'd be better on defense.
They're still good.
The ball.
They were ninth in defense. It was funny. They were 28th in red zone defense, but 9th in overall defense. And you look at the back end of their defense. The back end of their defense is arguably one of the top 3 back ends in all of football.
Yeah.
They have 3 first-round picks. They have 2 first-round picks playing at the corner. First-round pick is safety, and the other safety they got who was a Pro Bowler when he played with the Bears.
Yep. And then you got
Rasul.
He's renewed. He's
got a nice contract. He got like
$21 million contract to be a backup.
Never really got a fair shake, I thought, here.
No.
Jim Schwartz
or Arizona, for that matter.
Yeah, Schwartz was not a fan. But yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to what's the frustration level going to be for Rodgers with the young guys? Is he going to be able to tolerate them in real games, making some mistakes, not doing exactly what he liked, not being – I mean, they were almost telepathic, he and Adams. Like, how big an issue is that going to be?
That's a huge issue because he's not gonna be good with the mistake. He's not gonna allow them to make mistakes. Those guys got to learn on the fly. They got to be good now, and he's not. He won't throw it to him. He just will not throw it to him. He would throw it to Lazard, Watkins, and Cobb, and not even let the other guys back on the field if they're not catching it or they're not doing what they're supposed to do.
What did he say in camp a few weeks ago? If you're not catching the ball, you're not getting on the field. The head coach didn't say that. The quarterback said that. You're not getting on the field. If you don't catch the ball. If I'm a young player, I'm thinking, wait a minute, I got a chance to play with a future Hall of Famer, and if I don't catch the ball, I'm not playing. Oh, no, man, let me step up my practice session here real quick.
Exactly.
Now, we'll say this. Yeah, I think he'll be more dangerous than he was before because now he's got to go everywhere, and he reads the defense as well as anybody in the league. And I think with these options, especially if these young kids develop with the speed that he has on the outside, I think he'll be even more dangerous. I mean, look at his career. When was the last time he was double-digit in interceptions? When was the last time he threw more than 7 interceptions?
Yeah, he does not turn it over.
He doesn't turn the ball over, Yeah. And now if Toyin's healthy, oh, my goodness.
Their issue is it's been, more than a decade since they've been to a Super Bowl.
2010. Yeah.
It's been a long time, man. Yeah. Really long time. All right, so we'll go Cowboys. We'll just keep with the sort of division winner theme here from last year. Offensive line issues in a big way to the point where Jason Peters is signed.
Coach issues.
Yeah, coach issues for sure. Lose Amari Cooper, lose Randy Gregory. They've had a lot of departures here and a lot of defections, and it feels like they haven't added a ton here to this team. So I think offensive line is first and foremost at the forerunner of the issues here. But you're right, Barrett. McCarthy is a guy who hasn't shown himself to be a great coach other than winning a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and Sean Payton is looming. So there's a potential for a lot of things to go sideways for the Cowboys.
Sean Payton just all of a sudden gets has a house in Texas he's staying with on speed dial.
Payton's ready, man. Trust me. Unless somebody else somewhere backs up a Brinks truck, I think it's going to be to Dallas for sure.
He's going to go ahead and talk for a little bit on TV, and then bam, he's out. He's out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Have a nice year off.
Yep. Get nice paid for it, everything.
I think they are runner-up here. I think they are runner-up to the Eagles for the division. I think the Eagles win the division.
Yeah,
I do.
As a runner-up, are they good enough to get the playoffs, though? When you look at the state of the NFC, you think they get the playoffs?
So. I think they still get the playoffs.
Yeah, see, I'm leaning towards them getting in the playoffs, even if they don't win the division.
So you look at the division leaders that are going to win. I think that you have Green Bay, you will have Tampa Bay, you'll have the Rams, and you'll have the Eagles.
So that's 4.
Then after that, who is nobody else in our division? Well, Dallas. There's nobody else.
Minnesota.
Dallas.
Minnesota's definitely got a shot.
Yep, 5. I'm leaning towards the Saints.
New Orleans. Yep. They'll have a shot. And I think San Fran will have a shot.
Yes, we keep forgetting about San Fran. That's right.
Well, that's where we're going next. Trey Lance gets the start, but Garoppolo is still there. And Trey Lance was not named a captain. Now, you could say, hey, look, guy barely played last year. He's only his second year. Not a big deal. But he is the quarterback. He is the quarterback of the team. There's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball, and Shanahan's a good coach.
Yes,
but the quarterback thing it kind of feels like the Eagles a little bit.
Yeah. I think Lance is on a short leash.
I do too.
Do you guys think that with McDaniels being gone, that's kind of is that going to hurt that offense? Because Shanahan, yes, he is a head coach, but did he call plays on Sunday?
I think Shanahan was still the play caller. Yeah, I think he was. You know what? You're right. Should we factor the Mike McDaniel leaving a little bit more?
Yeah.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we probably should. I think we just so look at Shanahan as the offensive guy there. It's a good question, Barrett. I think, something to keep in mind. I hadn't thought about that previously.
Because right now it's kind of like that whole New England situation where they have Chris Forster and Bobby Slowick are the two co-coordinators, run specialist, passing specialist. Does that work? That means it has to go through 3 people before it gets to Trey Lance. 3 people.
I don't love that.
No, me neither, bro. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Eagles, with Carson. Carson, he couldn't work with it, man. He couldn't work with having to go with all those guys talking to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that works.
Understood. Cardinals' biggest issue, collapses the last couple of years. Kingsbury, Kyler Murray have not played well late. They lose Chandler Jones. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for the first 6 games as of right now. And that hasn't been chopped down at all, has it? It's still sitting at 6, I think.
Yep.
So that's not a little thing. That's a big deal that you're not going to have one of the best receivers in the game for 6 games.
Yeah, you saw how the offense was going when he wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, when he got hurt last year.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't believe in them. I don't think that they're going to be in the playoffs. I think Dallas has a better chance of being in the playoffs than the Cardinals do.
I think people will be screaming for Kingsbury to be fired after the season. I really do.
I agree with you.
I think that this team, I don't think they got better this offseason. I think they're a decent team, a decent nucleus.
Yep.
But I don't think they got better. And DeAndre Hopkins not being there early on to bail out Kyler Murray is going to hurt this team to start. And I think Murray's going to feel the pressures of this new contract. And it's all going to be brought up. You deleted everything that was associated to the Arizona Cardinals on your Instagram and your Twitter. Basically, you were pouting about not getting this contract. You finally got your money. You didn't live up to expectation. I think the walls of Jericho come crumbling down around Arizona this season.
Okay.
That could be serious, man. I mean,
yeah,
that could be very serious when you don't have a leader that everybody can rely on. Because I don't think they can rely on Kyler Murray. His antics at the end of the season, he made a lot of people, what they call a sore. I'm kind of sore about that. He just didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't show leadership qualities. The demeanor that he had. That you talk about it all the time, Rob. When you talk about Kyler Murray, his demeanor wasn't something that depicts the leader on the team.
I agree with you. All right, Vikings. New coach, which I think is probably a good thing, but sometimes it takes a little while to get acclimated. But a new coach, and the big question is, Kirk Cousins in a big spot, right? We know it seems like every year he's got great numbers, and he certainly has a lot of talent around him. But for whatever reason, not all his fault, it feels like in big games, he and the team have come up small, even with some pretty good players the last few years. I actually like them, and I think they're going to be a playoff team this year. But there's definitely question marks there for sure, because you're coming off a lot of change in the offseason.
I think if they put it all together, this Vikings team could be a Super Bowl representative team.
Wow.
They have everything that you need on defense, offense. It comes down to Cousins. Can you win a game at a big moment, which he hasn't been able to do in the past? You got the running game. You got a rugged offensive line. You've shored up your defense. I think I've said this a number of times. I think the trio of linebackers are as good as any trio of linebackers in the NFC. You got 2,000-yard pass catchers at your disposal if you can keep them healthy. Their front seven is tight on defense. They can get after the quarterback, physical. I think they can contend. I think if they could get Minnesota in, if they could get the Rams in their backyard in a playoff situation, Vikings might jump up and shock the world.
Yeah.
I just think they're a little old on the defensive side of the ball. That's my only thing. Hunter's old. Hicks is now old. Kendricks is old. Zadarius Smith is old. Patrick Peterson's old. Harrison Smith is old. All these old guys out there, how good can you be?
They are old. There's a lot of 30s.
Yeah.
Or late
a
20s.
Whole lot of them.
Yeah.
So, that's my only gripe, that they're real old. But, look at the opposite side of the ball. I mean, Christian Darrisaw, baller. Good left tackle. Really good left tackle. They got guys that can go out there and catch. And what Kevin O'Connell told Justin Jefferson is, look, you see what I did for Wes Phillips. So you see what I did for Cooper Kupp. You don't think that I can make you a better Cooper Kupp? Don't you know your skill set is better than Cooper Kupp's? Are you denying my ability to get the ball to you?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's thinking. So his eyes are lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
He could be the next Cooper Kupp.
Absolutely. There's no reason he can't. All right. Any teams I'm missing there? If not, we will jump into the surprises.
Let's see. Any team?
I think New Orleans you can make a case for sure. But we kind of talked about them earlier.
Yeah, we talked about them.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Atlanta's going to be the doormat.
Yeah. Atlanta that feels like it's going to be ugly.
What about Carolina? What about Carolina?
I think Carolina, two things. One, they're not bad defensively, and if McCaffrey stays healthy, I think they could be okay. I think they could be a decent team.
If everything falls into place as you just said, are they a playoff contending team?
I think they're if that's the case, they're in it till the end, and then they come up just short.
Okay, all right.
They end up 9-8, and it's not good enough.
Okay.
And that may or may not salvage Rule's job if that's the case.
Right.
Okay. All right. I don't disagree with you. I was just curious.
Okay. All right. Let's go with some surprises here that could be happening in week one. All right, Derek, you and I were on the same page. We touched on this pre-show.
Yeah, the first two.
Yeah, but the first one to me is, and maybe we're going to think we're nuts, is I think the Jags might win outright week one. I think they may upset the Commanders.
Who knows Carson Wentz better than Doug Peterson? Okay.
Yep.
Jacksonville's improved. Trevor Lawrence did not sit well with him that he had to endure what he endured last year after coming from that high-profile program at Clemson. He's got a coach now who can help him see things a lot better from a quarterback perspective. I agree with you, Rob. I think Jacksonville can go in there and upset the apple cart and get past Washington in that season opener.
I just think too. No, don't pay any attention to what Doug says this week regarding Carson. He's going to say all the right things.
Yeah,
it left a really bad taste in his mouth the way Carson handled things the last year here, and I'm telling you,
so. Yep.
There's a little revenge in Dougie P's visor that he wants to. He would like to see Carson go down. Trust me.
I don't disagree with you at all. Doug is very competitive. In some ways, it cost Doug his job. With what happened with Carson Wentz. And I think Doug, with the tools that he has at his disposal, he wants this one in a worse way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm with you. So, all right, Barry, you got one that could be a surprise?
No, not really. I mean, that's basically it, man. I mean, if anything, like you said, Washington could be a surprise, even though we don't like Carson, even though you're saying Jacksonville might beat him. I think over the long haul, I think they'll be a better team than Jacksonville. Okay. But for this week, an upset, I can't see an upset right now.
I like the Vikings over the Packers. I'm sorry, Derek. I know that's going to.
No. I think they're evenly matched.
But I do.
I think the Vikings have the advantage because you have a quarterback who's familiar with his receiving core. Yeah.
Are y'all nuts?
Yep, I'm telling you.
Leave that peyote alone, man.
And it's in Minnesota too.
You guys are seeing them chickens.
All right, so here's why I say that. Minnesota up, they've beaten them straight up 2 out of 3 meetings. The Packers are 0-3 against the spread last 3 in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings 34 points last 2 games in Minnesota. Vikings have won 5 of the last 13 or 5 of 13 straight up, which isn't as good, but they've had real good numbers against them of late.
Yep.
They really
Aaron Rodgers struggles in Minnesota.
He does.
For whatever the reason, he struggles in Minnesota. And now you don't have your safety blanket, Devontae Adams, anymore. First game of the season in Minnesota. Green Bay's won the division the last 3 years. Vikings want to make a statement right out of the gate. I can see the Vikings taking that game. I really could.
All right, so you guys gonna put that foolishness out there. I ain't trying to hear that, but I'm
you don't think the Vikings have a good team?
I do think they have a good team, but not better than what I saw with what I see with the Packers. I just think they're too strong on the defensive side of the ball. They would entertain that. But there are some matchups.
Yeah, Vikings got a good defense.
Yeah, but still, there are some good matchups that might surprise some people.
All right, tell me, give me one.
Steelers upset the Bengals.
There you go. That's that's my third one.
I like that too. I didn't put it in my group, but I looked at it. I'm with you, Barrett. I feel like Super Bowl hangover, lost, sniff yourself a little bit this offseason because of the run that you had. Pittsburgh's defense is still legit, and Trubisky doesn't kill you. That's how you win it.
And TJ Watt is he playing this game? I know he got injured in the preseason.
Yes,
is he playing?
I think so.
He's coming after Joe Burrow. He's coming after Joe Burrow. That man had 22.5 sacks last year. He's had 37 in the last 2 years, something like that. Yeah. That man is a one-man wrecking crew. He's coming after Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to have to get to his receivers pretty quickly. But you know what? I look at his Steelers defense, Barrett, and I don't think it's as dominant a defense. It wasn't a real dominant defense last year. It was a TJ Watt defense. It wasn't overall a dominant defense. And I think Cincinnati can do some damage against this defense. But I do it's one of my 4 games. Now, my 4th game is going to have you guys falling off your chair when I say this.
I'm going to give you my number 2 game. Okay. You guys going to think I'm crazy. But just listen to me. Jets beat the Ravens.
Woo!
With Flacco?
Flacco quarterback?
Flacco. And that's the reason why I said Flacco was starting. He gets that offense running in the right direction. Their defense is okay. I just don't like the way the Ravens' whole situation is. Today's the last day to
negotiate.
Jackson can negotiate a deal.
Oh,
I just that team wants to play. They want to be good. I know they're not good, but they want to be good. I think they can go out there and give the Ravens all they want.
I'm all right. I'm not feeling that one. I can't back the Jets till I see a little bit more.
Well, if you're not backing that one, I know neither one of you are going to back this one.
All right.
There's been so much hype around this team, and we just had James Palmer on, and we think it's David versus Goliath, but I can see Seattle knocking off Denver in that first game.
What are you talking about?
Oh my God! With that quarterbacking crew that they have.
Let me have. Can I some of that PO you got, bro? Let me get some of that PO.
You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant. You got a good running back
Who's
over
throwing
there.
them the ball?
Geno Smith dinking and dunking his way down the field. There's so much hype on Russell Wilson going back and getting his revenge, and he's loaded with wide receiver weapons, and they're supposed to have a good defense. It's the first week of the season, and I'm basing it on what Greg Cosell told us. There's always 4 or 5 games that first week that make you go, wow, that happened. And I'm just putting it in that category that somehow, some way, Pete Carroll wants to stick it to Russell Wilson at home, and Pete Carroll comes up with a game plan and shocks the world. That'll be Seattle's biggest win of the season. After that, they'll go 6-11.
I'll give both of you guys huge props if either one of those games you just said it. I mean, I will all hail if the Jets win or Seattle wins. God bless.
And if they win, what are you going to say Monday? What are you going to say?
I will do the we're not worthy. I'm not worthy of your presence.
Will you dye your hair green?
No. Why does everything have to be? I'm dyeing my hair green.
From your goatee.
How do we always get back there, man?
Right.
Goatee, green, everything.
Man.
Everyone's going to be Jalen Mills all of a sudden. Like, what's going on? Oh my God! Do the finger wag? Should I finger wag?
Oh man!
I'll tell you what. I hope my gut is telling me one thing, and my head, and my head's telling me one thing. My heart's saying, "Please no." I think the Cowboys might upset the Bucks.
That's a good one. That's another one on my list.
What do you got, the Pope? Hey, guys, just put me in, dog. I mean,
another one on my list.
This stuff from? Wherever you get this stuff from, put me in, man. I need
ayahuasca.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You remember? You guys remember? What was that? What was that movie with the Cowboys, Young Guns?
Yeah.
Chickens. When they was out there making that spiritual journey. He out there shooting the gun on the cliff. Talking about chickens. That's what you guys are doing right now, man.
Hey, look, Dak Prescott came out last week and said, we're ready to show people. We understand. We hear what people are saying about us. We're ready to show people that we're not as bad as you think we are. First game of the season. Remember, Dallas at home against Tampa.
Yeah.
First game.
I'm kind of look, what my biggest concern is Dallas, getting to Brady, but that's going to be an issue all year with the Bucks. But yeah, I think I don't know, man.
It's not out of the realm of reality.
I'd have more respect for you. You'd have said Big Red loses to the Cardinals.
That's a possibility.
I don't like the Cardinals, man.
I don't like them either.
I think Mahomes is going to be on a mission Sunday.
I know, but he can't stop anybody, man.
No, their
Patrick
defense
Mahomes is going to be throwing underhanded throws, over the shoulder throws, over the head throws. He's going to be making all kind of throws that you can be sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, he did that again."
Kingsley just can't do it.
Huh?
Kingsley just can't do it.
No, Travis Kelce's going to be drawing up plays in the dirt again, like they did the playoff game last year. Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be like a circus in Arizona.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not feeling that one.
Well, I'm definitely not feeling Tampa Bay beating Dallas.
I hope I'm wrong.
You mean Tampa Bay losing to Dallas?
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, lose. Lose.
Yeah, you mean Tampa Bay losing to Dallas? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose to Dallas.
Hey,
right.
That's why these are fun exercises, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, we can laugh at ourselves or pat ourselves on the back on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if they do that, it'd be your shoulder will break if you do that.
Rotator cuff.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll come back. There's a recant, another gig for a popular sports personality. Dabo gets paid. We got birthdays, and we have movies. So we got all kinds of stuff when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We'll keep talking NFL and Eagles as well. Barrett Brooks, Derek Gunn, Rob Ellis. Let's talk a little Flynn Tree Services, because Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So, do you have any tree issues in your yard or on your property? If you do, they're just a quick phone call away. They are experts at trimming all types of trees and serve southeastern PA, South Jersey, northern Delaware. Flynn Tree Services specializes in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Now, keep in mind, we've had some bad storms the last couple of days, but it is hurricane season. It's storm season. Now's a great time to get your trees evaluated before it really hits in full force. Make sure that everything's good to go. You go to their Facebook or Instagram page for a little bit more information or sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call at 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Philadelphia fans, were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The faces you know, the team you trust. The Delaware Valley's leading news program, Action News.
Go passionately. Go fearlessly. Go confidently.
Go Birds!
Go confidently towards your goals with First Trust, Philly's hometown bank for nearly 90 years, and the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're focused on getting you over the goal line. So go with conviction. Go with trust.
Go Birds!
And go forward with us by your side. First Trust Bank, the official bank of Philadelphia dreams. Oh, and go Birds.
At Pondley Hockey, we've recovered billions of dollars for our clients, and we're confident we can do the same for you. With over 250 years of combined courtroom experience, we've helped over 100,000 injured clients obtain some of the largest settlements in Pennsylvania. One conversation is all it takes to help you and your family get back on track. If you've been injured in an accident, give Pondley Hockey a call.
Yes, we are back. Final segment of the show on this Thursday. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett, Derek, Rob. All right, so did you see the Doug Gottlieb story where he recanted what he had initially said on the radio? He does a radio show for Fox Sports, and he essentially said that this goes back to the Freddie Freeman free agency situation. Mm-hmm. So he reported that Casey Close, who is Freddie Freeman, and he represents a lot of guys, by the way, but he is Freddie Freeman's agent. He said that Casey Close never revealed to Freddie Freeman that the Braves made a final counteroffer for money either close to or better than what the Dodgers gave him. Mm-hmm. Now, there were some issues because Freddie Freeman fired him after the All-Star break. Close. He wasn't happy with the way something went down. However, Casey Close and his agency sued Doug Gottlieb, and Gottlieb retracted basically everything and issued a formal apology and a statement on the whole thing. Sounds to me like Doug got scared. He was, going to get hammered money wise and, recanted, went back on his word here. But that's a pretty interesting story.
Got fired, man. How you gonna get a guy fired like that, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, total lie, man. See, that's one thing about us media folk, man. You got to be held accountable for what you say. Yep. I mean, if it's damning like that, then yeah, you just can't say it out your mouth. You got to have sources. You got to understand, that if you say something, you got to be accountable for what you say. Mm-hmm. I've had to backtrack a lot. You know what I'm saying? I had to backtrack on Carson Wentz. I was there. I was like, there was no way on God's green earth that the Eagles will let $34 million sit on the cap.
Dead cap money. Yep.
And dead cap money. It would never happen. It just doesn't happen. What happens? The biggest cap hit in the history of the NFL happened right here.
But that's an opinion, though, Barrett. Like the difference is what we traffic in opinions. That's fine. Yeah. Like you saying, hey, I don't think that's going to happen. There's no way that's going to. Is different than I've been told by the Eagles organization that they will not cut Carson Wentz. That's different. Gottlieb said, I was told that Freddie Freeman never got that offer.
And he was never told that, huh?
No, he said his sources let him down and all this. So the statement basically was, so Gottlieb said, upon further vetting of my sources, a review of the lawsuit filed against me in this matter, and a direct conversation with Casey himself, I have learned that the conduct I allege did not occur and that there is no credible basis for stating that it did. My ultimate investigation, into this matter confirms that Casey Close did, in fact, communicate all offers to Freddie Freeman, and the sources I relied on were incorrect in no uncertain terms.
You didn't want to get sued?
Right. That is 100%. I'm covering my ass, and I'm going to say sorry. Please don't sue me. Okay, thank you. Because Casey Close dropped it. He is not suing him.
Okay, so even with that said, why did Freeman fire him?
That's a great question.
See, if everything that Gottlieb said was, I take it back. Well, obviously Freeman talks to Casey on a regular basis. He trusts this guy to get him the best deal possible. So if Casey told Freeman, hey, Atlanta's offered you as good a deal as the Dodgers, probably better than the Dodgers, why did Freeman fire him anyway?
Here's what I wonder. I wonder if Freeman feels that went down that way. Freeman or somebody in Freeman's camp related that to Gottlieb, but there isn't proof. There isn't a smoking gun that's what went down. I don't know. That's just I don't know. Throw it out there.
That sounds exactly the way
interesting.
It was.
Very interesting.
So weird story, right? But I wonder how far this goes with Gottlieb and his employers if he still maintains his job. We'll see. Pat McAfee, who has now taken over the entire industry, who was to his credit, broke away from Barstools, did his own thing streaming, and crushed it, has now joined ESPN's College Game Day. He's just taking on more and more roles. Man, what a meteoric rise he's had. It's amazing.
From a punter,
former punter.
Getting paid more than he was a punter.
Way more.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not often you leave a professional sport and make 5 times what you made when you were working in the sport.
And Aaron Rodgers is one of his regulars. That tells you. That's unbelievable.
That went a long way for him when all that was going down and some of the COVID stuff and where you immunized and all that. The Aaron Rodgers weekly feature really helped his career.
Oh my goodness! I tell you what, though, you better not have sensitive ears listening to one of his shows.
Why do you say that?
Because every word you can think of comes out of his mouth on those shows.
Well, it's like Chris Long too.
Yeah, Chris is very much like that. Yep.
Yeah, true. And so is what's his name? Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan's the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the key,
that
Rob. You know, that's the key, Rob. You need to curse more.
Need to curse more.
Yeah, you need to curse
what
more.
The?
Yeah, my mom listens, so I can't curse.
That's right. Mrs. Brooks is on there. And we know she's not feeling great, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, my wife usually is only a shoe throw away. So I'm not going down like that.
I hear you, man. All right, so Dabo Sweeney gets 10 years, 115 million, $115, 115 million. He's now locked in until like 2090, I think it feels like, but it's a long way off. But he's making 11.5 million now. The only college coach getting paid more is Saban. Nick Saban makes more, but Dabo's number 2 now.
I love Dabo Sweeney, man. I'm a big fan of his. Every time you listen to him talk, like before a game or at halftime, or if you see him talking, at the press conference, I love everything about this guy. From what you can tell, he's as honest as the day is long. Just down to earth, good old boy.
Yep.
Who's coached at the highest you can coach, won a national championship. Players love playing for him. You know what? Kudos to him. Get all you can while you can.
Slept in the car at college.
Yeah.
Then his
he was a walk-on wide receiver at Alabama. Yeah.
Then his mom moved in with him. He was in the dorm.
He had a tough life. Yeah, his dad died young. They were really poor, him and his mom, and he had a tough deal growing up. So
but I mean, I just want to see how he's going to do. Like, he didn't look that impressive the last game. His defense, my boy Brent Venables is gone now. He's now in Oklahoma, so I want to see how that defense goes out. And Trott's son is out there too.
Yeah, Trott's son is one of the middle linebackers. Yeah, I'm not sold on the quarterback either. I think the kid who's behind him might be the guy sooner rather than later. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you're right. They didn't play great, Barrett. I thought they came on as the game went on. They came on.
Yeah.
But not great. All right, birthdays. So let's start with this one. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie, 71 years old.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey. Brother Noom said Jeffrey.
Like, what do you get Jeffrey for his birthday? How do you know what I mean? Like, what?
Another trophy, another Super Bowl trophy.
That's a good answer.
I'm going to get him
a good answer, Derek.
A gift card to White Castles.
Good. Oh, my goodness. You're going to tear that man's insides up. Oh, my goodness.
Way to swing it back, man. That was impressive.
And just think about this. He paid $185 million for the Eagles back in, 95?
Yep.
Yeah.
Look at what that franchise is worth right now.
Yeah.
And it was the highest anybody ever paid for a sports team
at the time.
Then.
Yeah.
Now it's worth what, $4 or $5 billion.
Billion. Yeah, it's incredible what he's grown. And build a stadium, build a real practice facility, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
He coined the term gold standard.
He did. Yep, absolutely. All right, a couple others. Maurice Cheeks, as John points out.
Mo Cheeks.
Hall of Famer, number 10 retired, coached the Sixers, has been a longtime assistant with Billy Donovan, whether he was in Oklahoma or Chicago. Mo Cheeks, but one of the great Sixers of all time for Mo. Pink, Doylestown's own. Pink is 43. Yeah, 43 years young for Pink. Certainly, I give her credit, man. She's been around a good 20 years now. Pink had a good career.
She has sold over 135 million records worldwide. That includes 60 million albums and 75 million singles.
Whoa.
That's a career right there.
That's big time. Yeah, that is big time.
Is she married to like a famous drummer or something like that?
She's married to an X Games guy, like a skateboarder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. All right, couple other. Patsy Cline was born in 1932. The great singer died really young.
Yeah.
Did Patsy Cline. Wiz Khalifa, 35 years old.
He put together my theme song that I still use today.
Oh, yeah?
We Them Boys.
There you go.
Hold up.
Gaten Matarazzo. He's in Stranger Things, which I haven't seen, which I heard is really good. He's 20. I have not seen it.
Yep.
I've
not seen that one either, to be honest.
I've heard good things. Amy Mann, who used to be in Till Tuesday, who is a great singer, is 62.
Yeah.
Lorenz Tate is 47.
What was his best movie?
Oh,
Dead Presidents.
That is a good movie.
That's a good movie, man.
That is a good movie. Who else? Jonathan Taylor Thomas from Home Improvement is 41.
Yep.
Peter Sellers was born in 1925. David Arquette.
Clouseau.
Yeah. David Arquette, 51 years old. Benjamin Orr, who you may not be familiar with, but he was in the group The Cars. He was born in 1947. He passed away. He was the lead in Drive, the song Drive. Who's going to drive you home tonight? That song.
Love that song.
Which was written by Rick Ocasek, who was the other lead singer. That's a pretty generous move when you write a song and give it to the other guy to sing.
Yeah.
Generous move.
That's awesome.
Sid Caesar, born a great comedian, actor, one of the original television people, born in 1922. That's all I got, Gunnar. What else you got?
What? Come on, man.
What do we have?
Slim Thug, man. Slim
Thug.
Who?
I should have gotten that.
Yeah, Slim Thug.
Slim who?
Yeah. You don't know about Slim Thug.
I should have gotten that one.
No, I'm just playing, Barrett. I'm just playing.
Yeah, I should have gotten that
boy.
one. Yeah.
Man,
You're right.
You missed a big one, Rob.
Who'd I miss?
Avicii, the DJ who was world renowned. The funny thing was, he became so popular so quick that he retired from touring at the age of 26. At the age of 26 because of fatigue and mental health, poor health issues, and he died at the age of 28. But he blew up. He started mixing records when he was 16 years old. Blew up. Became this big star, and I guess just couldn't handle it. And man, he was so talented, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He was in it. He had a run where it felt like every song that was out, he was involved in it.
Oh my goodness.
Producing it, or he was a big time guy. That's for sure.
Bernie Sanders.
Oh, Bernie. I missed Bernie. I have it on my list. He's 81, right?
81. Yep. Heather Thomas.
Oh,
Heather
80s.
Thomas.
80s.
And she gave up acting in 1998 to focus more on writing and her family.
Okay.
But she was big time back in her day.
Yeah, 80s. She was strong 80s.
Tyler Eifert. Now, here's what I don't understand. Tyler Eifert's out of the league. He's still a free agent. How's that possible?
A lot of injuries. That dude got hurt. I mean, he took some. He was
all
banged
the time. Yeah.
up.
Yeah, but you know what? He is the brother-in-law of Dallas offensive guard Zach Martin.
I did not know that.
And him and Zach Martin were roommates at Notre Dame.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I didn't know.
Let's see.
Good pull.
Malcolm Floyd, receiver, came into the league.
Notre Dame, another Notre Dame.
Yep.
Kid.
Came into the league as an undrafted free agent in 2004. Spent his entire 12-year career with the Chargers.
Oh, that's a different. Okay, I'm thinking of a different guy. Michael Floyd.
Yep.
The receiver.
Here's one. They'll bring back memories. Remember Willie Tyler, famous for Willie and Lester, the puppet?
Oh, God,
yeah. Remember that? Willie and Lester?
We're going back, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's like 70s, like Gong Show kind of stuff. Yeah.
He's 82 now. Let's see. Brooke Burke. Martin Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Freeman, that's my guy from the Hobbits, man.
That's it. And
Okay.
that's it.
All right, good work.
That's
Gunnar.
it. Yeah.
Well, we got three good ones, maybe movies. One, Psycho, the original 1960. The shower scene.
Ooh, yeah,
with
man.
The blade and the knife.
Yeah.
That's real. That scene is like,
man.
You open up your shower curtain, kind of looking around before you get in. After you watch that for a minute.
That was shocking when it first came out. Everybody was like tripping off that.
Yeah, that was.
And let me tell you something. First time I see. Speaking of movies that affect you, the first time I saw the movie The Exorcist.
Oh
yeah.
Hey man, I was checking under my bed, closets everywhere for like
you're leaving the light on. I think when you go to sleep that night.
Yeah, dog. Messing around with that movie.
I mean, it's movies like that, like Jaws. They're always going to haunt you.
Yes.
Can you believe Jaws? You never the first Jaws. You never even saw the shark, man. That's crazy.
I know. It was the thing was too wonky. Like Spielberg was like, what are we going to do? And then he decided a brilliant move to shoot all around it. Like made it that much scarier. You know, it was brilliant. But tell me you still don't, if you're on the beach, you're not kind of peering out there looking for that fin a little bit. You still are.
Oh yeah. With all the shark attacks we've seen in the last 10 years, I don't go above my knees in the ocean, man. I ain't messing around anymore, man.
Hey, man, that's the ocean's house. I mean, that's the fish's house. You don't mess around with that fish.
Right.
Nurse Betty came out in 2000. Not bad. Nurse Betty.
I didn't see it. I knew it was out. I didn't see that one.
Nah, nothing special. Nothing special, really. That was pretty. Kickboxer. Was that Jean-Claude in the late 80s, early 90s?
That was that movie.
Yeah, I loved Kickboxer, man.
Rob, it wasn't bad.
Rob, that movie.
Going.
Yeah, yes.
Rob, that movie was like,
not a big fan. Okay,
yeah, it was. I'm a fan of Jean-Claude, but not that movie. Yeah.
I hear you. All right, well, that's it, boys. So tomorrow we get you cranked up even more for this Eagles game as we are a step closer. We'll recap everything that went down tonight in the game as well. I want to thank Xander Krause producing, everybody in the chat room, everybody listening, streaming. Stay tuned. National Football Show with Dan Cilio. For Derek, for Barrett, I'm Rob. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Eastern. Sports Take.